This episode is brought to you by Loot Crate. Would you classify yourself as a geek, gamer, or pop culture nerd? Then this is the subscription box for you. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure you head to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on any new subscription. Not that long ago, and depending on where you live, not so far away, Loot Crate blasted off into a voyage across the galaxy, searching the far reaches of space to find universally awesome gear. Using December's Star Wars The Force Awakens loot as the launch pad, we landed on some equally cosmic items from Halo 5 and more. With an exclusive Funko Pop and an exclusive t-shirt in this month's crate, this is the loot you're looking for. Basically, Loot Crate is like a friend who knows what you love and surprises you with an awesome present every month. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, Jackie boy, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. And now you can showcase your geek chic style with Level Up, a monthly mystery apparel subscription from Loot Crate. You can get 2 different pairs of high-quality socks, 1 to 2 fashionable accessories, or a wearable item like a long-sleeve shirt or lounge pants. Same themes as Loot Crate every month, and it serves as a great companion to your loot because there are no repeats. Each month's theme is inspired by all your favorite pop culture brands like Star Wars, Doctor Who, and Fallout 4, and often contains high-quality exclusives. Go to lootcrate.com/funny to learn more. Use the code FUNNY to save 10%. This month's theme is Galaxy, with Star Wars items perfect for Jedi, Padawans, Rebels, and serious fans of Star Wars, and I'm adding in myself Watto. I like Watto. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer. He's back, Nick Scarpino.
I missed you guys.
We missed you too. Oh, hey, claps.
Thank you. It's hard being out of the game. I'll tell you that right now. We talk a lot about vacationing and how it causes probably more anxiety than it's worth.
Sure.
I had a great time, but about a day and a half into it, I was like, I gotta check Twitter. I gotta get my phone. I gotta get on Wi-Fi. I gotta start doing something. I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
But I figured it out.
I was talking to my girlfriend, and she was like, there's something fucked up with you guys. Whenever I'm like, oh, how's Nick doing? Your answer is, yeah, he just wants to be back doing stuff. And when it's like, oh, so we take a week off or whatever for Thanksgiving, and the entire time you just want to go back to doing stuff. It's like, to you guys, vacation is the work part. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how it is.
Vacations becoming more and more fun for me as time goes on. Like this year, vacations were actually really good.
That's good.
When we were back at IGN, I had this constant guilt trip that I only put on myself that no one else put on me, that I have to constantly be working. But now that we own this company, I'm just like, well, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm really going to enjoy myself. And we were just talking that next year in April, Greg and I are going to Japan. Japan. And we were trying to see if we can get the entire Kind of Funny crew and significant others to go.
I would
Kind of
probably be
Japan.
okay if I had vacationed with you guys. Having said that, it would not have been it wouldn't have been a vacation. We would have just talked about work the whole time. So it was great in that, like,
For the record, Matty Kerr is here. I feel like this is the long Nick intro.
Sorry,
Pure
guys.
with Tim Gettys.
Hi.
Pride along on Colin Moriarty.
There's going to be like 30 seconds of like, who is this
And
guy?
Patreon supporter Matty Kerr. Thank you, Matty.
Hey,
For all
guys.
your support.
Hey,
All right,
thanks for
continue
coming out.
into your thing now. Yes, if it would have worked.
No, the thing is, my wife was right. She was like, you need to get away. You guys work really, really hard. Every once in a while, you have to just kind of get away and recharge. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't watch any TV. I barely checked my phone. And I ended up reading a lot.
A day and a half in, you were checking your Twitter.
I made myself, it was very sparse, right? So,
Okay.
like, for the most part, I left the phone in the room. And I read a lot, and I recharged, and I wrote a little bit, as you guys know, for some stuff we have upcoming. And it was fun, man. It really was good to just kind of sit back and recharge. It didn't do me any favors, though, that it was a hugely important and crazy busy week for you guys that when I planned this last January, I just didn't see coming. Namely, we had the Game Awards,
Right.
which you were at, which
I won.
You were the belle
Thank you
of the
for your
ball.
support.
He won
Best
Game
friends.
of the Year.
I
Greg
am
Miller.
Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I have the trophy right here.
A lot of applause
There he
today.
is.
Just we're.
It's like a State of the
I
Union.
guess-
I like it.
Do I need to
His little
stand up?
peepee
I think I'm gonna break something. What's this weird rat?
But yeah, so I mean, it would have helped maybe to take it on a, if I'd have gone for 3
There's
or 4
always
days, it
going to
was
be
fun.
something.
I
Every
know.
week
always
there's something
something.
going
I
on for
know,
us.
I know.
But
that's-
last week was
The week.
That
a
was a
week,
big
man.
What was it? PSX?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Awards, PSX.
So it was Greg Miller winning a fucking award, which is amazing, and giving an amazing speech
Great
that everyone's
speech.
super happy about.
Just a
It was PSX,
bigotry.
aka Kind of Funny Live 1.5,
Right.
which was amazing. And then there was the Batman v Superman trailer.
Oh, right.
One of our most successful videos that we've ever made.
Who would have thunk people want to hear me talk about Batman?
Where
v
Greg
Superman?
loses his goddamn mind because he's Greg Miller.
Yeah.
Leading right into the Game Awards. It was just a whole. This is your week, Greg.
Yeah,
Enjoy
I know.
it.
I had
It doesn't
no,
get better than
there
this.
was it was that we announced and got to show the first footage of me in the Lego video game. Lego, you came up with
That's
Arthur
really
Parsons.
cool, man.
You're
I-
a boss, right?
Right? Yeah.
And I gotta
Aldrich
say,
Killian.
to Greg's
Lego
credit,
Marvel the Avengers.
because voice acting, I've talked about how I just want to be like a voice and an NPC in a game once, just like one time. Because voice acting is really hard. I would just be me, you know?
Can I give you some lines right now for you to say?
You sure?
I need you to say the line.
Okay.
Huh? What was that?
Huh? What was that?
Yeah, you're nailing
And then you gotta say, I guess it was nothing.
No. What? Or if I'm a Grand Theft Auto, NPC, it would be like, well, watch where you're going. Something like
Yeah,
that.
you nailed it.
I did pretty good at it.
Driving like a moron.
Yeah. You want me to say that?
Yeah.
This is driving like a moron. Yeah, it's
You're
pretty
done.
good. Pretty good.
Perfect. You're
it's
nailing
great.
it.
Hire
we
me.
just gotta wait for Grand Theft Auto Long Island
Right,
when it
right.
eventually come
The
out.
Island.
Just-
Grand Theft Auto
The Island.
What if you are killed? What's that noise?
That sounds like me. I'm actually having an orgasm.
That's great because you're
like
cost
it.
effective.
Right,
You get
right,
two
right,
lines
right.
for one. Two more bang for
God.
your buck.
no.
And then a Venezuela comes in.
But what I was trying to say is that especially the first line Greg delivers is actually really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
You
can emote.
He's
As
a
they say.
complete hack otherwise, but
Emote.
that one line was pretty good.
I had great voice direction from the one and only Liam O'Brien, who's a voice actor who's been around the block.
Did he
and
really
does
help you?
voices. Yeah, 1,000%.
Were you awful or something when you got?
It's not. I think I
I'm curious about
delivered.
this.
The lines were fine. Like my lines for like the boss fight when I'm yelling at Tony Stark and all this
Throat
stuff.
was a little tight.
Throat was a little tight. He came in and massaged that with his tongue. No, that was all normal and fine. And he's like, "Oh, I did this." What was really fascinating was I'd do like a long line. He's like, "Well, I liked the first part of that. Can we do the second part?" And then he would immediately piece it together right there. Like, how we edit and it takes forever. He had an audio tech that was just like swinging things around in 2 seconds. But it got weird when then it was like, all right, let's jump to the next page. And there was like an Excel grid of like, ugh. And he's like, all right,
yeah.
so now you've fallen from a stoop. Now you've fallen from 2 stories, and now you've fallen into a bottomless
What are those
pit.
called? There's a word for them.
Wilhelm screams?
No. Efforts. They're efforts.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're called in VO land.
And then there was a lot of stuff of like in the Lego games, like the characters emote and talk in the game without talking sometimes. So it's like that, like a lot of that. And so there was when we got to that page of just the weird stuff, he was doing the work. He's like, all right, give me this. And he'd be like, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I would just parrot him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, so he was great.
Not to jump in, but I think one of my biggest pet peeves is in a game why did they choose to only record like 2 lines or 3 lines, and then they start looping and it takes you out of it.
Yeah. They always do that.
Because they only have so much time.
I know.
They only have so
It's
much
all
money.
time and money.
A lot of games that are pay attention to that though, and you don't notice that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But no, congratulations on that. I think that was really cool.
It was a hell of a week. We had 4 days there that were jam packed.
Hell of a week for you, really.
No,
You know?
but
I mean, it was for all of us, but I mean, especially for
what's
you.
good for the goose is good for the gander.
Oh, man. I
Now
love
show
it.
me your
your
goose
gander.
butthole.
I'm
not
your
your
gander.
I'd rather
So
show you
here's
my
the thing.
gander.
Colin and me have completely opposite versions of this. Where Colin's like, nah, like I'm your boy and whatever, but nah, I ain't taking this shit. I'm like, I am your gander. Take me with you. Say my name whenever you want to say my name. I'll take it.
my name.
See, it's because I
Say, baby, I love
He fits right in.
But again,
Can we talk about
With another
Orange
lady.
Room? Beyonce in the Orange Room with
Yeah. Destiny's Child. DC.
Daddy like.
Those are the old days. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I always get them confused with TLC.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
That's
say.
blasphemy.
I thought you were gonna say
And
LFO.
racist.
LFO.
Nick,
Summer Girls.
Nick, I'm glad you're here actually now because you weren't here for this. during Greg's acceptance speech, I don't know if you noticed, that I was thanked. I was just like one of the guys
Put
that
you right
was
in
just
there.
thanked. And,
Kevin.
thank you, my beautiful girlfriend Christine.
Crowd
love of my
loved
life,
that.
Christine.
Yeah, I know, right?
Also,
She had a
thank-
huge pop.
Really weird.
Also, thank you, Nick, Tim, Colin, and Kevin. I was like, oh,
I
Colin.
emphasize
Nicole.
Kevin. I
It's
emphasize
just like
Kevin.
it's look.
Yeah,
One
like
day,
I'm just a piece of
you
shit.
were essentially a comma between just like Tim, Nick.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that was nothing.
Yeah.
I
It was
would
nothing.
have honestly expected him to say, and last, but certainly not least, my platonic man toy. My what does he call you? My
Hetero life mate.
hetero life mate, Colin, without whom life would cease to exist.
No, I was just
Something
I'm just
along
one of
those
the
lines.
guys. But it was all good. I was busting Greg's balls too because at Podcast Beyond I couldn't go to Podcast Beyond 400, and I watched it later, and he was like, he mentioned it once that no one else was there, and he's like, oh, Colin, Nick, and Tim couldn't make it, and I'm like, this was our show. You're not going to give me a special shout out? I'm just one of the
I didn't
fucking.
give anybody a
I'm just
shout
one.
out.
I'm just one of Greg's little schmucks out there now.
I'm the gander. I'll take it.
Thanks, Tim.
Look, it's like
welcome.
this,
Thank
man.
you, Tim.
Every one of us at some point just becomes Greg's stepping stool,
Right.
and that's just the way it goes. And
I won't
the
forget you
bigger-
guys when I get to the
No,
top.
I mean, you will.
Yeah, I know.
You're like still near the bottom.
I know.
And you've already and we're like below the bottom.
I know.
Right.
Which makes me scared for when you do get to the top because you're only giving me a
You're a
point.
fossilized remain beneath the mantle of the earth.
I'm going to be like a footnote in your biography.
Oh yeah, totally. And then also this other guy quit with him. He's dead,
Why did I die?
But I'm gonna get a lot of
crushed
mentions.
by coffee beans.
It's interesting.
It was a freak accident.
No, but for real, I love the we were busting balls about this on Colin and Greg. You would have gotten hysterical. The guy Colin and Greg episode was really
It was
funny.
good.
And because I was just busting Greg's balls over and over again about it, and people came up with some really great shirt designs that we should sell. Where
All
it's
right.
where the shirt, the shirt just
the
says
blank and?
yeah,
No,
just
no,
like
it was
says Nick and
no, it was
Christine
Christine
and
and-
Nick and Tim and Kevin and Nicole.
Nicole.
And like no, because the Crystal Dynamics artist, but no Colin. I think that's so brilliant. I really want that to be the next
We
shirt.
should do it. Sure, let's do it. That can be T-shirt Tuesday for next month. If you didn't know, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can support us, let us live our dreams, and get each and every episode early. If you have no way to support us, don't worry. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny where we post it topic by topic, day by day, until the entire show is free on Fridays as one big video and one big MP3.
Big, beautiful MP3.
I can tell you right now, Tim, this one's worth $1.
oh.
Matty Kerr's fitting in great.
Hey, it works out.
Yeah.
Here I am. Fucking Bart Simpson came out of nowhere. Jesus Christ.
No, I like you though. I like you a lot.
Hey,
You fit
thanks.
in. You have a good voice. You have a good energy
Energy.
to you.
Yeah.
That's
I
You
ran
got the
here.
song
so
"Say My
I'm
Name"
just
stuck in
sweating.
my head now.
Nick,
Yes.
what's your topic?
I got to lead off with the new Batman Superman trailer.
You loved it like I did.
I did not particularly care for this trailer, and I've watched it a few times now in
Yeah.
preparation for this.
Sure.
What I can only assume is going to be war between you and I.
Sure.
It's very
I
civil
just
right now.
started
It's very
unfollowing
cute.
people when they
It's
were
very
like, I
civil.
don't like it. I'm like, I don't want you. I don't want the haters in my parade. But today I can't unfollow you, so
I know.
I
Well,
have
you
to
can
fight
try,
now. You're
but I'll
backing
just
me into a corner.
hack your phone.
It's like Karate Kid 3 when he killed that guy by kicking him too hard.
Oh. That was dark.
I think that was Roadhouse. I think that was very good at all. I didn't like the actual way the trailer was put together, and I think that was part of the reason why I didn't really vibe with it. I didn't like the somewhat liberal use of Jesse Eisenberg in it. I thought that his lines came off to the point where it almost made me think, is this really what this movie's going to be about? Like, am I going to have to deal with that level of care of Eisenberg the entire time? And is he going to ruin the movie for me? Like, when you walk out of the theater and you check Twitter, is everyone going to say Jesse Eisenberg ruined this movie? And that was from that trailer.
Say
is
Zack
kind
Snyder
of,
did.
Yeah, it's gonna.
no, they won't say that. The one, then it'll be Zack Snyder's fault, of course. But
Of course, everything's his fault.
But I mean, I think going back and watching it again, I'm like, okay, it's got more of a playful style than I'm used to. I was expecting it to be a little bit more along the lines of Dark Knight, but because some of the other trailers leading up to it were really serious, you know.
I still think that Matt's in there.
But then we get to the line of, "Is she with you? I thought she was with you. Hey, do you want to go get a cup of coffee? Yeah, let's be best friends." It was just, it kind of came off. It comes off a little like It makes me a little scared that they're not going to be able to nail that tone, you know? Because that's a very, very thin line of like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and this whole thing's gonna come off as fucking cheesy and campy, and it's not gonna have the intensity that I need it to have, you know.
Yeah.
Especially since that, you know, the Marvel universe is supposed to be what it is, and the DC universe is supposed to be kind of a little bit darker, right?
From what we've been able to
we've
cobble
told,
together,
so.
yeah.
So I mean, that was my take on it. I mean, I don't know if, obviously, well, I'll reserve judgment for when I actually get my butt in the theater, but the Lex Luthor character is the one that is most concerning for me. I got to see how that plays out.
What don't you like about him?
I
Just
don't like
the
that
voice.
he is goofy. He's just like, he seems like more closer
He's
to
a-
the Joker than he is
Yeah,
Lex Luthor.
he's like-
I see that.
He's an eccentric, like, you know what? I mean, the funny thing about it is what you're saying is interesting because Max Landis is convinced that Jesse Eisenberg is just doing an impression of him,
that is,
and
that
like
is
that's.
possible.
I mean, that's the kind of he's trying to be this eccentric billionaire,
Yeah.
billionaire who's like this Facebook money kind of kid, like this tech.
Isn't that
mogul.
probably a more accurate representation of like what that kind of character in today's world
You think
would
so,
be?
right?
Like
He
this
wouldn't-
weird, scrawny.
He's not just
goofy,
some suit,
socially
some
awkward.
suit at the top of a building who has all this money.
Yeah, I just worry that character is hard to nail, right? And we've been burned before. Let's not forget
Kevin Spacey.
the great Kevin Spacey debacle of circa 2000.
I mean that was. I mean,
Six.
I don't blame his
I can't remember.
performance as Lex. I blame the fact that they just said do Superman 1 again, and he was like, "Oh, I want land." Well, okay, good. Glad
true.
that's
That's
still
true.
happening.
Other than that, there were some awesome moments in the trailer, though.
Yeah.
Namely, like getting to actually see them battle back and forth, and knowing that I think they've done a good thing so far as the story is concerned, with knowing that he's going to not be able to win that fight, and so there's got to be another reason why he's doing it, and I like that idea because you got the moment in the trailer where he says, "What do you like? Stop." I could have killed you already if I wanted to. Just stop like what you're doing. And you see basically Batman get his ass handed to him for the most part. But then there's the inclusion of Wonder Woman, which is the big wild card in this whole thing. It's like, how are they going to start integrating all these people? When in the Marvel universe, they had like 6 movies before they decided to do Avengers, give or take. We're just seeing Wonder Woman for the first time here, and she just pops up in the trailer, and I'm like, is that really how she's gonna? They're gonna set her up a little bit, obviously, we're gonna see her at a party or whatever, as her alter ego, but I don't know, man. It all just kind of seems really fragmented and frayed right now, and I really want to see how they pull it all together.
Okay.
So for you, though, was it just the fact that, like, all of the elements are there? You know, like
Yeah.
maybe you're staring at the recipe and it's all laid out on the counter. And you're like, hopefully they put it together correctly.
I mean, my whole thing, my only criticism of the trailer is the fact that they gave away too much. Now, here's the thing: is when I was freaking out in the reactions video with Tim and everything else, and that night and did that matter to me? No. Right now, does it matter to me that much? No. Like, it would have been cool. Like, what I was doing is, have you seen this? I haven't watched it. Reddit did a re-edit of the trailer where then everybody said it fixed it or whatever. Have you seen this? You want to see it?
Sure.
Let's see what happens.
All right.
For everybody at home or watching this thing, you can just Google. This is the spoiler-free fan edit. Right now, we're getting a sweet ad.
Oh, fun.
You know what? I love these
I like
ads.
to start with the very delicate piano.
Well, it's kind of similar to how
This is
the
the
trailer
fan
is.
edit. Exactly. Fan edit. Ah, jeez. We gotta get through this thing. This is the advertising. But no, like that. My only thing is like it gave away too much. And it's like, okay, but I don't hate that. It got me hyped for real. I still want to see them fight Doomsday. And how are they going to do that?
They
And
gave
you know,
away
like,
way too much.
Is
I
it
think.
Wraith and blah 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 blah. It hinted at a lot. I mean, I don't know. We'll see where it all comes down and
I
stuff.
mean, I think the thing is, it gave away way more than I thought it would, but there's still so much we don't know. There's so many heroes in this damn movie that we haven't seen yet. So I don't think it gave away everything, and people are acting like, well, the whole movie. It's like, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah.
You haven't seen 50% of the motherfuckers in this thing.
yeah.
And it's like with Civil War, like I like the Civil War trailer that they didn't show Spider-Man. I hope they don't show
I
Spider-Man
really hope they don't show
in any
Spider-Man.
trailer. And like they're probably going to, because that's how movies work.
But that's the reason I'm concerned about the movie. I'm excited about it. I think the trailer was 80% really good. I was really quite intrigued. But I was way more intrigued by watching Greg watch it.
Definitely.
Most
but
people were.
but to me, that's why I'm concerned, is because they already showed such a dense amount of the movie that how are you going to flesh out the entire movie and all these characters and make them work in 2 hours or 2 hours and 10 minutes, whatever it's going to be, when it already seems like there's enough density in this one trailer for 2 movies.
I really feel like all you have to do in this movie is flesh out Batman and Lex. Wonder Woman has 2 scenes, I imagine. The party thing we've seen where she's there, we introduce her. Oh, this is Diana. Why she's talking, blah, blah, blah. They don't know her clearly in Wonder Woman fashion yet. And then she shows up in the end to help them fight this thing. Or
and then
whatever.
Donna Justice is not Donna Justice, Justice League.
Yeah, she has her own movie that
Yeah.
they started shooting also.
Do you actually like Zack Snyder as a filmmaker?
I do.
And his visual style?
I do.
You enjoy that?
Yeah.
So is this just seeing everything that you've wanted for 30 years come to fruition? Is that just what? It doesn't matter what they're saying in the trailer. It doesn't matter how cheesy the lines. It doesn't matter what they look like. Is that just it could be anything and you would be excited?
No, because I mean, I think you could make a bad trailer, and I would think, oh, like what? Like it took me a while in the first trailer to see great things.
I almost felt that the tone in the first trailer felt so much more grounded. I definitely, and I'm not a comic reader. I honestly have never been really big into comics, but I think sometimes like we've lost this idea that comics are fun. They kind of are playful, and I mean, you may know this better, but would Batman and Superman have that kind of moment? Wouldn't that be like a playful thing?
That's the thing, is like the animated series.
I don't know if it just comes into
this
this is a film that everyone wants to be gritty, that there's a moment they're having some fun. They're fucking guys with superpowers. Of course they're going to have fun.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's what I have to kind of wrap my head around, right?
Yeah.
Is that I don't know. Like, the problem with that is this. The movie that preceded it is Man of Steel. That's all we have to go off of. And Man of Steel was very much not that.
Did you like Man of Steel?
I liked Man of Steel. I wanted to love it. I wanted it to be the same reaction I had when I watched the trailer 50 fucking times for that movie before it came out. And I cried when I heard Russell Crowe give that, like, the rousing fucking speech, and then I was like, wait,
They'll run towards
there's
it.
the exact same trailer with Kevin Costner instead of that. I'm like, fuck, I gotta listen to that. And I like went back and forth and debated which one's better. It's Russell Crowe, hands down. But that movie was serious. That was a sci-fi movie. That wasn't let's like, there was one or two little nods to like, let's have a little fun with this, which is like, what does that stand for? He's like, it stands for hope and whatever, and the microphone buzzes and things like that. So we had those small little moments, but this looks more like a buddy cop film. Like,
I mean, I just don't agree, because I think Man of Steel did have those moments just overlooking him. He spikes a drone in front of the general, and he's like, "I'm from Kansas. It doesn't get more American." And then she's like, "He's hot." And it was those were fun moments of levity after just leveling a fucking city. You know what I mean? Like, that was the other thing too. They're making out in the dust that is literally people. There's plenty of other things that are not like super serious and grounded in Man of Steel.
Yeah, but there was a tone, right? There was a tone of like, when you think of that movie, do you think of it being more like the animated, like Justice League, the animated series, or do you think of it being closer in tone to a sci-fi film? Like,
Oh no, it is a sci-fi film.
right. So this doesn't look.
Oh my fucking god! Spike your phone and get it out of here. No one needs a text right now.
Nothing gets more American than that.
So I mean, that's gonna be my thing, and you'll know from the first, like, you know, the first obviously 10-15 minutes where they're going for. But I think that I think that he's probably trying to go for a little bit more lighthearted tone, which is.
I think they are bringing.
Was this
more of
them
that in there.
chasing Avengers and trying to fit that family-friendly fun?
I mean, it's
No,
it's
no
mixing.
way.
It's
Or do you
Avengers
think-
mixed with Dark Knight, because it is that dark. They're trying to like match that, but they're not doing that, and they know that. There's no way they're doing that because it's not grounded in reality. We've known it's not grounded in reality since Man of Steel. So it's like, all right, we take that, but then there is the Avengers, Captain America, like watch your language type jokes and stuff, which it's cringy,
That was super cheesy.
but it's cheesy and cringy, but it's not like that's the point.
just-
You can't write these characters differently.
Yeah, but I think you can, though, and that's my problem, is that you watch what they're doing in the animated world, and they can get super serious with them, right? And so it's like, how it's really hard, I understand, to translate that level of intensity over to live action, because you are at the end of the day dealing with Ben Affleck in a batsuit and Henry Cavill playing Superman. Like, at a certain point, you have to just be like, this is probably as far as we can go with this.
But
You
even
know?
the animated show, like, I mean, there's no animated show. No matter what, even the movie, like the DC animated movies, like they still have those.
I mean,
moments. Like it's still
no,
cheesy.
I
and
mean,
corny.
there-
even the
yes.
Dark Knight, him in the thing. This isn't a car. Like,
Well, that was bad. That
Does it come in black?
yeah, like stuff like that. Like that's everything that's bad.
but when
Then
you
he hacks
use
everybody
those
up with an axe.
when you use those moments, it's comic relief, right? It's the movie. If you watch The Dark Knight again, there is an underlying level of tension in that film that slowly raises all the way, like, and basically jumps a level every time we see the fucking Joker.
And do you
right?
think that the trailer matches that?
for Dark Knight?
Yes.
I can't remember. The
Because
Dark Knight
one thing I
trailers.
think with Zack Snyder, the trailer that was first, or maybe it was just the teaser, the one with like the cape blowing in the wind and like the butterfly and everything was so like emotionally
Oh, you're talking about from Man of
subtle.
Steel?
Yeah, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't think that trailer, I mean, maybe it was just trying to excite people, but that trailer did not match that movie at all.
100%.
And so now
I wish it
I'm
had, though.
worried that, is this just a thing with Zack Snyder or with the people who edit the things, or is this just all marketing?
Isn't that the thing that they say about him, is that he makes great trailers?
Yeah,
Well, that's what- yeah, that's
like-
what the
and-
internet
and
says.
trailers.
And that, so let me give you a little bit of perspective as someone who doesn't really know anything about this stuff, because this is because I think it's
not
gonna,
your
because I think frankly it's gonna be valuable to maybe not most of our listenership, but most of the people are gonna see this movie. It doesn't matter what happened in any of the comic books or what this is based on or the animated series, because no one cares. Like that's number one. So like this is like one of those things where like the precedents aren't important, just like the precedents that were set, say, by the Schumacher fucking Batman movies weren't important, you know, because no one gave a, like, that was just their own interpretation really of what was going on in the 60s, as opposed to the more grounded Burton movies, and then obviously like the masterpieces that the Nolan trilogy were, I think. So like, you know, those are all disconnected from each other, and normal people that see all those movies know that they're all different, but they don't know why. And so you have to like look into like people walking into this movie, like my father, for instance, who's going to see it, I'm sure, and who was excited about it. He likes watching a lot of movies, and he's not a superhero, but he's going to go see this, and he's not going to have any of this context. And so that's going to be the normal person that's going to go see it. So, and that's kind of me too. I have more context into Batman, I guess, but I'll tell you what I like about it. And what I like about it is I like Ben Affleck as Batman, and I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I especially like Superman. Like, I'm actually really into it. I was telling Greg that we've seen these two shots before from the previous trailer, but that shot of him descending in front of the Capitol building is fucking awesome. That's an awesome fucking shot. And the other shot of him, like in what looks like Hurricane Katrina or whatever, where he's backlit or whatever, I'm like these are amazing shots. Finally, the technology can make Superman look the way he's supposed to look, I think. And I have to say, I really like Lex Luthor. Like, I think that he's really like super unsettling and fucking weird. I love that one shot of him when he like puts his hand on the girl's head and like, he's like it's a 3-letter or a 3-syllable word for whatever, and like
for what people can't understand.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, that seems tonally, from what I know about Lex Luthor, kind of in like it kind of resonates with me as someone where I'm like, I was telling Greg, I'm like, I like this character. Like, Lex Luthor is an interesting, unsettling fucking psychopath. Clearly, you know. So I don't think you have to have like the brooding, weird man at the top of the fucking tower, you know, like necessarily. That's my interpretation. I don't know if most Superman fans feel like that, because I don't have a connection to that character. But I will say what I'm super concerned about with the movie, and why I think I'm going to see it, I'm excited about, but I think it's going to be maybe mediocre, is it's just too dense. I agree with you that end scene is fucking campy as hell. And that's something that DC needs to get away from, because their characters are inherently campy compared to, you know, the more overtly over the top X-Men or Avengers or whatever, with their fucking, you know, Captain America with his suit or Wolverine with his claws. That's corny. Like these guys are supposed to be a little more like not grounded, because Superman's not grounded, but they're normal people. So that seems like there's a dissonance there with like that, and especially Wonder Woman, who I think like is just corny as hell. Like, I'm sorry, like that, like just corny as all hell. Like, that scene is so fucking stupid to me with their shield. And they're like, who brought it? Like what you were talking about. I'm like, this is so dumb. So I'm afraid of how they're gonna like pigeonhole or wedge that kind of stuff into this movie, including with Aquaman and other characters that I think are probably gonna be equally corny. When you really have these two pretty strong characters represented by really two strong actors, and that should be the focus. Batman, an older kind of Batman, Affleck, is really fucking cool in this, and Henry Cavill as Superman is totally believable to me. So like, I wish that they would just focus on those things. This movie seems to be too dense, you know, already.
I mean, the problem is this movie, Dark Knight was a movie, Batman Begins was a movie. This isn't a movie. This is a long trailer, and that's all it is. It's like, it is dense, because all it is just, here's a bunch of things teasing out things that are going to happen.
Well, should it have been just smaller amount of those things and not reveal as much? Like, what if we didn't see Wonder Woman at all? And what if that was the reveal in the theater?
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the movies are just longer trailers at this point.
But who's going to be the reveal? I mean, Aquaman, obviously, Cyborg, I guess, is going to be in it, right? So, like, you have
I think, don't forget, too, that, I mean, like, I think we're seeing everything out of context. Yeah. You're talking about comic relief, right? And if I'm a betting man, it's Doomsday's working these fucking two dudes. Batman's looks like the Batmobile or the Batwing is downed. He accepts that he's about to die, and he puts up his hands. Wonder Woman jumps into frame, blocks it with a shield, goes fucking full bore at this thing, and they have this fucking amazing fight.
No doubt.
Batman finally gets out, and he's like, "Did you?" I think while like she's fucking taking buildings and smashing it. I mean, like, I don't think it's as natural as a cut. I think it's gonna work in the film.
But understand why contextually why I brought up that like I'm ignorant about this stuff, but I'm someone who's excited about the movie. And this is something I was talking about with Tim, is that it's a foregone conclusion for some people, for DC fans, for instance, to know that eventually they're going to partner up. But they ruin the tension in that trailer. Like, we know that it's like the movie's called Batman versus Superman, you know, and like me going into that, I'm like, I don't have any context, so like I don't know, what does that mean? I have no idea what the fuck that means. I love that line where Superman's like, you know, I would have killed you basically already if I wanted to. I'm like, that's a really powerful line. Leave it there, you know, like. That. Leave it there. And maybe they partner up, or maybe that's obvious to comic book fans, but that's not obvious to me. And I'm telling you that it's not going to be obvious to most of the people that are going to go see the movie. They want to know what that means. And they ruined it in the fucking trailer. They ruined it. They ruined that whole tension, the whole tension of the title. You know, and so you have to kind of like withdraw yourself. It's kind of the way I felt about the G.I. Joe movies when they came out. because I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan or whatever, where I'm like,
No,
I have a lot of
Channing Tatum.
I have a lot of expectations and a lot of foreknowledge, like foregone conclusions of what this should be and what Storm Shadow should be and what Snake Eyes should be and stuff like that. But when I walked out of the movie, I'm like, that movie sucks. But when some people walked out of the movie, they're like, I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, and that was just a fun action movie. And I'm like, yeah, but I have expectations.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think that, like, so you guys have to kind of remove those because there's just a lot of tension that was ruined in that. I think that's a really good way of putting it. And people had put it that way. We're like, well, that sucks, man. That scene shouldn't have been in that trailer. Just that one scene. Even if Wonder Woman's in it in a different way, just that one scene of them working together, I think was really quite stupid.
Yeah,
to put in there.
you know, eventually that it's going to be, they're going to build the Justice League, right? I respect what you're talking about.
We might know that, but most people don't, right? Like most people that are gonna see a movie don't even know what the fuck the Justice League is.
That's probably true. I mean, the trailer was kind of bittersweet for me. I'm hopeful, and I'm also reserved about it for the same reason everyone else is, right? I don't know if they've had enough time to set these characters up so that when and if there are those big emotional set pieces like you're talking about, they will really hit, right? For instance, what you're talking about we need to be invested in those characters, and we need to be invested in Wonder Woman for her to come save the day and for have it make sense. It can't be like a comic book where you're like, you turn the page and all of a sudden Wonder Woman's there for no reason. Like you're used to that in comic book land. In movie land, that is a cardinal sin to just throw a character in. Right, which is it's fine in games, it's fine in these things that have these long legacies. Like take Metal Gear for instance. Like when characters come back from fucking games that like 4 games ago, you're like that was awesome because you understand that.
Sure.
But we don't in the movie world we don't have that yet, right? They're not set up. So that's my one trepidation is I want to love this. I know I'll like it. We're all gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a good film. We're picking it apart because like Star Wars, it means something to us. I want to fucking love it. Right, I want to love it.
You
like
never
I
will. It's
like I
impossible,
left
man.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Right, it's not because I
It
left Dark
is.
Knight and I was like,
I know, but
fuck,
this
my
isn't
mind was
that.
just blown by that.
This isn't that. Like
I know.
This is
so
an action movie.
I'll settle
Yeah.
I'll settle for Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel. I've watched it 3 times since. I'm like, this is a good film. I don't care what anyone says. It's entertaining. It does what it needs to do. I'm hopeful because of all the other shit that's in the trailer that we haven't even talked about yet, which I'm sure you touched on. But like the sort of connection to what's the character? Is it Darkseid?
Zod.
No, Darkseid.
Darkseid, yeah.
Have you heard?
Yeah, the paratroopers, yeah.
Like that, if they're setting
parademons.
that
I
up,
called it.
that's fucking awesome.
You did? You did say that looks like Darkseid. Great. Not in the reference that we're making, but you are the first person in that I was around who was is that Darkseid? I'm like, no, it's Doomsday, and then the paratroopers. I want to keep the troopers.
But so that's what I like about this, right? Is that they are finally going, hey, we can't make a Superman film where he fights a fucking island. Right? Yeah. He's got to fight Doomsday, and he has to fight. And that was my big thing. Like when Superman Returns came out, and everyone was talking about like, oh, they should have had a character like he should have fought Brainiac or he should have fought Metallo or any of these guys. This is a smart idea. Come out of the fucking gate swinging with Doomsday.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And then try to go better with Darkseid.
Yeah.
Did you overall watching the trailer after your reaction?
Yeah.
What would you change of it? Anything?
I mean, I would have. No, yes, no. I wish they'd shown less, but I think I wish they would have shown less because I think that's the one main knock so many people have against it. I like it. Here's what I'll be honest with about it, right? Is that I like so many people being negative about the trailer because I think that the movie's going to exceed their expectations. Like I stand by the fact that the Wonder Woman introduction, it won't be as out of the blue as you turn the page. But I mean, like, you're going to see Diana at the ball talking to Bruce because you've already seen that screenshot or whatever image, I guess they call him in real life. And so, like, that's a tip of the hat to anyone who does know that that's going to be Wonder Woman. And then she comes in and does whatever. The scene I'm most excited for that has been teased that we don't know anything about is Jeremy Irons as Alfred talking to Bruce.
Yeah.
Like, we have, like, that one line, or this drives men to madness or whatever. I'm not worried about the focus of this the way I was worried about Spider-Man 3 when I was watching them. Like, why are they putting all these people in this movie? What the fuck is happening? This one, I think it's going to be 2 little bits of Wonder Woman that make you go, holy shit, that's awesome. And either she's having the Hulk moment from Avengers where you want more of her, or Aquaman is, and whatever his introduction is going to be. Cyborg, I think, is going to be
Hawkeye.
there.
The Hawkeye of
No,
the
but I
thing.
mean, I like everything everybody talks about this is like he's still Victor. He's just gonna be there. Like, again, it'll be a nod of, if you know that's Victor, you know he's going to become Cyborg, and that's when you lean over to somebody and say something about it. Or it's just that he's there to establish that he's in this world and Aquaman's in this world. I really think the focus is, people people talked about that, then they tried to draw back from a little bit and explain, is it's a Batman movie. You know what I mean? Superman, we know Superman. Now we have to learn who this Bruce Wayne is in this world. who this Batman is in this world. What's going on with the Robin suit? Is it Jared Leto's Joker? You know what I mean? Like, how do we all tie this into this thing?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get
about that too.
fucking a ton of that. And I think that's going to be the focus. Meanwhile, we're playing to who Lex is and what's happening with him and what his plan is.
When does he lose his hair?
Exactly.
And Topher Grace is Nightwing.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Great. So my whole take on the trailer is that, you know, everyone's biggest thing is that, oh, they showed too much or whatever. I think that they had to show that because when you put it up against the Marvel stuff, right, with the Civil War, they needed to outdo that trailer. Like, they just had to kind of gain momentum back. Civil War didn't show too much, but to me, the Civil War trailer, it's just more, which is great. Cool. I'm going to see the movie. I know I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
At this point, we're sold. We're already invested in all this shit. But it's like that trailer. Yeah, if it showed Spider-Man, everyone would be like, but it's like, we don't need that.
Right.
The Batman v Superman thing, I think, did need that because Batman v Superman, they're on the losing team right now. Like, they needed to at least show who's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest critique of the people giving critiques of this trailer is the freaking anyone saying that, oh, that's the Ninja Turtles. Those aren't the fucking Ninja Turtles. Those are the stupid
You
CG.
talking about the part where the Ninja Turtle comes out of the building and goes, "Arr," and then his eyes glow?
Yeah.
That was the Ninja Turtle,
I
right?
hate you so fucking much. But it's like that thing. That's what Doomsday looks like. This is that universe version of Doomsday. Google
So-
Doomsday. That's it.
So I read a little bit about it, and so my first reaction was like, "Oh, I don't like that." But I haven't read the comics. I didn't know that Doomsday has like different forms and like the things grow. So like you can see if you put the horns on him, you're like, that looks exactly like Doomsday.
Exactly. And that's kind of my point. And it's like, for anyone that thinks that's what Ninja Turtle looks
People
like,
are just
fuck you.
people are just being cynical, like and
that's the
we've
internet.
we've all been cynical and are cynical about things. But
Sure.
but the thing is that I'm pretty optimistic about the movie. I'm interested in how it resonates. You know, like Civil War is a culmination of work, right? Or at least one of the culminations of work. There'll be many culminations because they're never going to let this thing die. But like this is already, like you said, an established thing. What I'm concerned about with Batman versus Superman is that if this falls flat or isn't good, it's gonna fuck everything up. Like for that universe, and that's why I was talking to Greg about this. And I know it's leaving money on the table. I know it's not smart business and whatever, but like I wish that DC would just take a different tact and just be like, we're not Marvel, and we don't have we don't do things like they do them. We do things in a more thoughtful way, like in a more sober and solemn way, like we did with the Batman trilogy, where it's like we're gonna do our own thing, and we don't have to make this interconnected, capitalist-driven kind of universe that we're trying to just one-up each other. Like, we have our own stories to tell in our own fashion, and now that they're all intrinsically linked to each other, if one of them is really bad, then they're kind of fucked because they're starting from a bad point already, especially with Superman. And that was the thing I was telling with Greg. Like, this is Superman's last chance, like with people, I think, in terms of like making him super Marvel type relevant to people. Like, they need to nail this. Batman's already relevant because of what Nolan did. So they can possibly ruin him as well, but I don't think they're going to. I think they have a good thing going with Affleck. So I'm super interested to see how that all goes down. But I wish DC would just take a different, more, I don't want to say mature because that's not what I really mean, but because it doesn't necessarily be dark and brooding like that. But
You're saying,
but
do
just
not
like,
have to get this universe going. Oh, you want to make a Wonder Woman movie? Go make
Yeah,
the
make a
best
Wonder
Wonder
Woman,
Woman
yeah.
movie, however you want
like,
it to
why
be.
do they
but it
all have to
doesn't.
touch each other? You know, like it's
awesome.
Well, I mean,
No,
come on
it's
now.
what comics
it's
are.
awesome. It's awesome if it works.
I know.
It's awesome if it works. It can be disastrous if it doesn't, and that's like why I think they're taking a huge risk. You know, because they could just make a Superman movie or just make a Batman movie or make a Batman versus Superman movie. They don't have to pigeonhole fucking and throw in Cyborg and all these characters in there. And, you know, like we don't, you know, culminating in the Justice League, especially with Suicide Squad, which I'm pretty convinced is going to be bad. Like they just have to be careful because they're chasing Marvel. And they're not Marvel. Like, that's why I always liked DC more because they're not Marvel. They're, you know, and Batman especially so fucking cool. Like, don't fuck with him.
I know.
You know, like Batman is so goddamn cool.
Well, the one good grace of Batman though is he survived the Joel Schumacher era, and if you can survive that, I mean that's like surviving a fucking nuclear blast. So Batman will always be cool.
But
It took one of the great filmmakers to
during
do
that time, there was like 2 superhero movies in 5 years.
That's true.
Now
the
there's
superhero
like 15,
genre wasn't a thing.
15
That's
got
true.
released yesterday.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
Batman. Batman's the king.
I know.
Sorry,
Batman
sorry.
will live forever.
Sorry. I'm aware of the Google results.
No, but remember that you're right. Like, people did look back at Batman Forever and Batman and Robin and stuff, and they're terrible movies. I mean, they are. They're fucking awful. There's some interesting things in them. I like the villains in them. I don't like the way the villains act. I don't like, but I like
Take 2 of these.
Tommy Lee.
the over the topness of it is there's something to be said about that, and he tried, and he tried something that didn't work, and I respect that. But in my mind, Batman was redeemed only because of who was making it and who was acting in those movies. Like, Batman could have easily been ruined even more if it was given to someone else. Nolan saved those movies. You know, like Nolan made made Batman what it was, and that's why our expectations are really high for this. You know,
Well, I mean, Nolan does in some degree have Joel Schumacher to thank for that, because everything's a product of what came before it, right? So the Joel Schumacher films were a direct product of the dark, kind of weird, twisted, fucked up Burton films, and then Nolan came in and was like, well, we can't do either of those, so let's go super real with it. And that was what was so powerful about that. And now they're going the opposite direction. I think they're going in a great direction, don't get me wrong, because I don't think Batman deserves to be 100% real. I think there always is going to be an element of he is a superhuman being, not in form, but
His superpower is that he's Batman.
Yeah, and so like there's got to be a little bit of an air of unbelievability. He should be able to do things that are Batman-esque in that maybe you look over and he's gone, right? And that's kind of a magical, fun thing. Maybe he does that, maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but I think they're angling more toward that feel with this. I just hope again, it's the hardest thing to do in a film because you don't know. You're talking about something that they've probably, I don't know how many days they shot on Batman v Superman, but I have to imagine it's more than a couple months they put into this. You don't know when you roll the camera the first time what that film's going to be after all that footage and all those special effects. And it's really fucking hard. Tonally, it's like the hardest thing. If you ask any filmmaker, they'll say the hardest thing is to nail that tone and nail that intensity that we were going for because you don't fucking know. You shot that end scene the first day, you know? You don't know. So hopefully they nail it. Either way, I feel like everyone needs to just kind of relax, take a breath, and realize that it's a movie about a fucking guy that can fly and do that dressed up like a bat. Yeah. And just enjoy it.
Going back to the original conversation you had about the trailer and it, like how the trailer was made, you said you didn't think it was that great of a trailer.
Yes.
Like, so my thing with that is I enjoyed it for a trailer. I thought it was fun. It kept my energy up and I was into it. And like, I didn't hate it or love it, but I'm like, cool. That was my thing is this is cool. And I didn't know all the insider shit because like I'm not that hardcore into the DC thing, so I didn't fucking lose my shit in the same way that you would have. My biggest problems with it is that I'm a fan of Zack Snyder trailers, very much so. So
Best
yeah, the Man of Steel trailer,
That Watchmen
300 trailer,
trailer.
Watchmen trailer, like those are fucking classic trailers. This to me, I put it probably really low on the Zack Snyder thing. Having said that, it's still fucking amazing because Zack Snyder trailers are great. Yeah, but the most cringeworthy thing to me of that whole trailer was not the line at the end of the shit. It was, and I was telling you this earlier, it's the music.
Really bothered you.
It's really bothered me because I think that it's just like for when you edit the trailer, it felt fucking off. And it took me out of it where it's all this like the classical music playing.
Is it the ding?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it
So-
like looks at his reaction.
So it's the classical music playing at the banquet, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, oh, then your meeting, this is Bruce Wayne, this is whatever. And it's like, it's background music, which is fine. But then the moment's like, oh, this is Clark Kent. And it's like this piano key out of nowhere where all of a sudden the background music syncs up and it's like breaking the fourth wall of it. And I'm like, oh, what? I don't like that. It really bothered me because I'm like, this is not a great trailer.
It's unfortunate too because
trailers should not take me out of it that way.
I was watching both of them when I was on vacation, and so I was catching up on all the trailers. I watched Civil War first, and then I watched the little exclusive like clip they had of when
teaser.
he lands and walks up and grabs him, and I was like, and he was like rips it off, and there's like fucking insane intensity between the two, and I'm like, whoa, this is gonna be a cool movie. And then I immediately watched the next trailer. I was like, totally different tone. Like watch those two back to back, and you'll be like, what happened? I don't understand what's going on.
But again, they're the same movie. So it's like Greg keeps saying, like the movie's going to be different. It's not going to be cut that way.
It's true.
So
Very
both
true.
scenes, all those scenes are in that movie.
It is true.
And the other weird audio thing I didn't like about the trailers at the end when it had the like when it showed the title splashes shit. There's like fucking it goes dun 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 dun, and it's the same fucking audio loop.
The score was
not happy with the score. That was my overall.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it might. Again, those are just the trailers they put together too. So that's a whole separate house that's doing those trailers, and they probably it might actually be two different houses that are doing the trailers because there's so much that people have to put out now.
Yeah,
like 9 TV spots, 3 different trailers, sneak peeks, all this shit. So
I'd be interested in who
Zach
edited
can't watch them all. I'm sure when he was making
Zach didn't even watch this trailer.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure when he was making 300, he was like, yeah, I want to go to the actual trailer house and be like, I want to sit there and pick. And it's probably part of his contract. I would imagine he gets to actually do that, and he probably cared a lot about 300. Not that he doesn't care about this, but that was like his first like chance to really break out and establish himself. And so I'm sure that he was probably really, really pouring over that. But I mean, he probably had a lot more control there than he does with DC. Sure. And Warner's probably like, no, well, fucking, you do what you got to do, and we'll do what we got to do.
Get the movie done.
Yeah, get it done. Get it done,
You got a
Snyder.
date to
I'm
hit.
tired of you. I'm tired of your attitude.
Who's this? Oh, the Detective Lance is working at Warner Brothers.
Laurel, tell him to hurry up. You're gonna tell me, Laurel, you don't know the arrow. It's so good when you do it. It's because the voice is a little bit off, but your face expression.
I squint up just
is
like
so
him.
good.
I'm telling you, I can stand in for you anytime on the set of Arrow, Detective Lance.
We're gonna have to talk off air about what you think is going on with the Legends of Tomorrow because
I've watched one episode of Arrow this season.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm liking
Flash,
it.
I'm
I'm
too
liking it
behind
so
on.
far.
Is this
Supergirl,
torture for you?
I'm pretty much all caught up on, except for last
to
night's,
this
which I
point.
thought was supposed to be awesome.
I don't mind.
worth
I don't mind.
watching?
Not everything has to be about me.
It's fun. It's forgettable. I mean, it's fun. And maybe it's going somewhere. Last night's episode we flipped out about, but they ruined it on Twitter when I'm reading it. But I was like, called it a long time ago. I'm not too worried about that. Kev knows what I'm saying. Matty Kerr,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
I've been thinking about it for 2 months now. I donated, and I was like, okay, I need to come up with an idea.
Patreon.com/kindafunny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Good plug.
No problem. That's what I do.
And I was trying to think of something that would encompass what I want. I don't want to just like show up here and say something like a dick joke. I didn't want to say just like breakfast cereal. I didn't want to say something that
Like
was
a big black baseball
yeah,
bat, for
Oh
instance.
fuck! God damn it. I just I wanted to do something, and as I keep thinking about it, it dawned on me that the reason I actually donated and came on the show was I got asked a question. Who do you want to eat dinner with? If you had a chance to go meet someone and sit down and talk, get drinks, eat dinner, and pick their brain a little bit, who would that be? And I think first instinct for a lot of people is like a celebrity or a celebrity crush, or maybe it's a musician or a rock star or a band, or maybe it's a political figure. I don't know. And it first gut response was 100% Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty. It was like I have listened to.
You mean Greg, Nick, Tim, Kevin,
And that's the thing.
Nicole
and this
Tan.
is,
We'll call Nicole Tan. We'll get her over here.
And it honestly clicked that I listened to Podcast Beyond. I listened to Game Scoop. I used to listen to like Week in Review, like way back when I was like 17, 18 years old. And
IGN is AFK.
I know. The best part when the podcast came out, then it was like, thanks for listening to IGN's podcast.
IGN's podcast series. And then it was like a Japanese.
It's like they had to tell you what you were listening to because podcasts weren't a thing yet. But yeah, so it clicked in my head that I wanted to meet you guys, and that's not a slight to any of you guys,
not at
but
all.
it was just
You're the
definitely
gainer.
yeah.
Nick and Tim.
It's been
Which, by the way,
Which one are you,
Not
Nick
to
or
interrupt
Tim?
you real quick. Let's pound it real quick.
yeah.
I can't remember your name.
I went to see a movie this weekend, and I went with Sean Finnegan, and some guy from across the theater goes, "Hey, Nick, Kevin, and I'm like, there's no way someone's screaming towards me saying Nick and Kevin, and it's not what I think. And I look over at him, and he's like freaking out. I'm like, no, Tim Finnegan, Finnegan, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
They're audio listeners.
Gotcha.
Are you sure that he just wasn't telling you that he likes me and Kevin better than you?
I'm positive.
I feel like that might have been
because he tweeted
the
at
case.
me later. Thank you for that.
All right.
I appreciate it.
People get that wrong all the time, but it's okay. So my mom keeps calling my brother's name all the time, so it doesn't matter. Do you ever get that growing up? They call you Dagan?
My mom does the whole
Goes
Dagan,
down the
Dagan,
line.
Alley, Colin.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
I'm like, Mom, like, you know, she call me Dagan all the time. She calls me Declan, which is like her oldest grandson. It takes a while for
It
them to
does.
get to Colin.
Yeah. Sorry.
But the Dagan, Dana, Alley,
Just
Colin
like
is
for
like
me.
my favorite thing ever. Dagan, Dana, Alley, Colin. I'm like, it's just Colin, Mom. It's just me. I'm not even. You have 2 daughters, so you should know that, right? It's not Dana or Allie.
right. Go down the line.
But yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, I was just thinking that I would ask you guys essentially the same thing. This is not going to be necessarily me talking.
So why us though instead of a celebrity?
I don't.
like,
Tell
do you have
Greg why you wanna
questions
meet him.
want
I know.
for us, or is
It's
it-
his week. He wants just more of it.
Like, how
week's
did
not
you
over
think?
yet.
How did my speech affect you at the game?
Yeah,
Awards?
you want to get into that? Like what I was feeling. No, I think it just like clicks in my head. I don't personally have that. I don't have that want or need. Maybe it's a lack of free time. Maybe it's a lack of a crush on a person or an idea or whatever. I think that I listen to you guys when I'm like just walking down the street. I'm driving. I'm going to bed. I'm doing other things, and it's just a consistent. It's like I have maybe 10 different podcasts, and you guys have always been just like another one of them. And I relate to you guys, and obviously you guys have the community. You have this whole empire you're creating, and I just
It's a
thought,
city-state. It's a city-state.
city state. Yeah, and I just thought it was. I thought it would just be a cool moment to, like this is all like I'm sure anyone else can feel. This is all super surreal. It's weird. Like I don't get like starstruck. I don't get, but like seeing familiar things that I've seen before is definitely like very strange and amazing. And
How's the other side of the room look like? You imagined?
I mean, it's bubble baths and sex. Like it's weird. Like there's some shit happening over there. Portillo knocked that off.
Specifically, look. I mean, you're actually not kidding. Looking at Kevin all the time because he gets more.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like dropping shit, and that's a real.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's dropping shit, and that's real. Kevin Coelho.
Biggest distraction in the world.
Around the 40-minute mark, I looked over there and his eyelids were heavy, and I was waiting to see if he was going to lose
pizza
it.
sleeps were kicking in.
God bless him. God bless him. He's lovely.
But no, and I definitely think that there is relatability that I feel. To start with, it was like Colin and Greg were definitely the first idea, but like just this as a whole, the GameOverGreggy show with the 5 of you guys, there's relatability. You guys all have so much distinct personalities and characters, and like you will say the most fucked up, heinous shit, and I'm just like I will say that tonight. I like that's that same idea, and then you are just like you said, this is your week. You are becoming this insane, amazing person that I guarantee you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people soon will be like, dude, you changed their life, and you do that every day. Colin, you are one of the smartest mans ever. I truly could listen to you talk about nothing and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I like respect that more than anything. It's like so many people talk, me included, for nothing. Like I just talk because I like to hear myself talk, and I don't say the smartest shit, and I'm super naive. And when you talk, like you choose to be silent, but when you talk, you say something that of substance and of meaning, and maybe it's your like your personality or your personal beliefs. But I got to get up on this.
Kevin's yelling.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah,
Somebody
and
just woke up.
then as
And
for
Tim,
you,
you wear nice shirts.
Thank you.
you just have.
I was gonna, like, Tim's got great
I just
hair.
like your Mickey Mouse watch, and
Oh yeah, of
no,
course.
no.
You know.
I look at you, and you're 26, correct?
Yes.
You're like similar in my age, and I look at this group that you are part of, and I look at your humor, and I look at your style and your idea and your knowledge of like YouTube, and like you are very much in my wheelhouse of how I view life. So I don't know, and you're just Kevin's. It's so easy to pick on him.
Yeah,
Why is it so easy to pick on him?
He can take it.
Because he's shunned to the side? I don't get it.
He's our dark
He is our dark.
He loves it. Watching Nick and Kevin have a slap fight on the couch on the love seat before when Nick's like, "Let me touch you."
Yeah. Because Kevin came and sat down next to me purposely, and I'm like, I'm gonna touch.
No, that was
you
the
came
moment.
and sat with intent, my friend. You wanted to be touched. Your body and your mouth and your every word that came out of it were saying no. But deep down behind those eyes, you wanted my finger somewhere inside you.
Oh, and I will say that's the
A fold of
moment
you, I don't know.
when I got here. It was, I want to say somber. Somber is not the right word, but it was quiet. It was like you get here and you don't see the behind the scenes. And I'm looking at
There was no pomp and circumstance.
It's just
no one stopped working. We're all like, "Oh, hey,
yeah, what's up? This
There's
is
a coffee,
And
sit
then
down.
that was the moment that it clicked. I was like, okay, that's what I was waiting for.
There's
I just want a finger and like just something. And
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it goes. For those of you who don't know, who have never listened to the show before, if this is your first entry into our little world
Your first
here,
jaunt.
yeah, Sean, is that it goes like this: I pick on Kevin picks on Tim, and then Tim just takes it, and that's how it goes.
But Tim gets really mad.
Greg picks on me, and Colin picks on Greg, and that's how it goes.
And if
And then
you've never seen this, I'm
No
a
one
random
picks
guy.
on us.
No, it does. No, we're all terrified to pick on you because you'll tear us apart with your fucking mental acuity.
But yeah, anyways, to get to my topic in a more concise fashion, who would you guys personally, doesn't necessarily have to be dinner or drinks or whatever, but if you had the opportunity, who would you want
hang out with?
someone
Yeah.
that's alive, that's someone that you
Okay,
like realistically could go meet? Who would that be? And I mean, you guys also like are gaining traction. You guys are meeting celebrities and meeting other people. So the crazy thing is, like, the people you say you could probably definitely meet. I
Yeah.
can't say Taylor Swift and go meet Taylor Swift.
But we can, and we can say
You
it a
guys,
lot.
I mean, yeah,
Hope,
you guys.
Oh my god.
hope and dream and
we could have
wish.
done it
wishful
this time.
thinking.
We just
Yeah.
didn't do it. We
That was
should
the
have.
thing
of wishful
so-
thinking.
It's really interesting you say this because like I often think about this and where I'm at in my life now compared to where I was at even like last year and the year before that, and looking back 5 years, 10 years, and to see how, because I think about this question and I often think, like, who do I want to meet?
How long till I meet Exhibit?
How
How
can I-
long till he pimps my ride?
How long till he pimps my ride? But yeah, so I kind of think of how can I make these things happen. because I'm schemy like that. Like that's kind of always been who I am.
Right.
And so I look at the list of people over the years that I would have said, and I'm really kind of knocking them off, like just one by one. Like you're looking at Bernie Burns, Freddie Wong, all these people are people that I'm now like friends with, and I see multiple times a year. You know, but at certain points in my life, they would have been the people that I would have done anything to be like, I would love to spend time to just talk to you and get to know you, just like you're talking about. It's funny because like with,
Kevin, go get the fucking dog.
You shut up, you dirty rat!
You fit right in. You fit right in.
with Freddie in particular, a long time ago, when he first launched a Kickstarter for Video Game High School, one of the perks was and I think it was for $2,000, you can go spend a weekend with Freddie, and he'll like teach you how to do video stuff and all this. And this was like Video Game High School season 1, so it must have been like 2010 ish. And I remember being like, "This is awesome! Like this is an opportunity to get him to know who I am, and I know I can prove myself to him. We'll be cool. Everything will be fine from there." And I was like, "All right, I got to do that." So I came up with a brilliant idea to come up with a Kickstarter to fund that $2,000 to get me there. I ended up not doing that. That is the most Tim Gettys ass.
That is a
I've
Tim
ever
Gettys
fucking
scheme if I heard one.
But I remember talking to Nick and our friend Eric from IGN about this, and I was like, hey, I want to do this or whatever. And you were the one that told me, like, you know, like I guarantee you that if you just keep doing what you're doing, you'll meet him eventually, and it'll just happen. And you're the reason I didn't do that. Now, I don't think that was necessarily would have been a bad decision to do.
I mean, you listen to me, so inevitably it's probably the worst decision.
No, but but it worked out. And the thing is, it's like it's cool to me that it's like when you have these opportunities, you got to take them, or at least look at your options of getting what you want, right? And how you're going to make it happen. And it is cool where you kind of I found myself falling upwards in that. There's a bunch of people that I'd love to meet, like Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is a very interesting human being. I've always been fascinated in kind of the business of stuff and kind of making yourself a business. That's what we do. And my whole life has been aiming towards doing that. And I think Jay-Z is a perfect example of someone that started from the bottom. Now he's here. You know,
Drake.
Yeah, absolutely.
John Denver.
But so now I look at it and I'm like, all right, who would be the person that I want to meet now that I can meet these people that I would, because I'm just like you. I don't need to meet celebrities and stuff like that. Like that's not like meeting a Michael Jordan, while cool, is not something I'm like, that's on my fucking list.
Michael Jordan with the Hitler mustache.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what? How
Wait till he gets his hands on you. That was the Haynes.
Oh, the
jingle.
Haynes.
But
I thought you said hands.
I thought you said hands.
And I
When
thought
is he-
Michael Jordan's getting touchy.
He's getting touchy.
When did
Yeah.
this happen?
But so I also like, I'm a fan of videos and I'm a fan of these things. So I'm like you. It's like I know these people because I've listened to them for years, so I can relate to them. Whatever. So those people I just kind of like. I feel like I want to meet naturally now, be doing what I'm doing. So I'm being the scheming motherfucker I am. It's not, oh, how can I meet a celebrity just so I can hang out with a celebrity I like? It's how can I meet somebody that can become my friend so that we can make more friends, you know, and like network and stuff. So I'm gonna go with Taylor Swift because I do think she's the right answer. Because if I hung out with you know my girl Tay Tay, I think that we'd hit it off, and I think we'd be good friends, and I think that would make Kind of Funny fucking huge because she would tweet about us all the time. We'd do like Tumblr things together. I don't even have a Tumblr, but I'd get one. Just
for her.
Yeah. Like
Wow,
Snapchat. I'm already blowing up on Snapchat. Tim Gettys follow me. But I'm sure, you know, T Swift would make that better.
Sure.
And I just think that she's a good person. I like her. I enjoy her social media persona, and I want to be part of that.
I gotcha. So similar stories, that we've all started meeting people and doing different things. Like for, I think years, my answer would have been Kevin Smith. And then this year we got to go to Kevin Smith's house and do 2 podcasts and hang out with him for 4 hours or whatever it was. That was awesome. And so like now, like because we've done like what celebrity you wanted to meet and stuff like that. And I said Bill Murray and stuff. What was it? We did some topic similar, but not this.
Who would you want on the show?
Something like that. Yeah. And I was like, there was something out there. And I'm a big Bill Murray fan. But in terms of a dinner, like who would I want to chill out with and spend time with and conversate the whole time? Because I feel like Bill Murray would be a great interview podcast, but maybe not just chill out for 2 hours, sit over a bottle of wine. Chianti, sitting there doing this. I would say I'm going to give runner-up to Dan Aykroyd. Because I would love to talk to Dan Aykroyd because I think it would be about making movies. What's he doing now? UFOs and ghosts and like there's so many things to talk about that aren't just like you're famous and what's that like, you know what I mean? Like he sells a vodka he believes is filtered through crystals with souls in them. I'd love to fucking speak about that.
That's true.
Oh, that's real. Crystal Skull.
I know the Skull
Wait,
vodka.
what was the movie?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls.
So this is Crystal Head vodka.
Yeah.
I always screw it up. So it's, but Crystal Head vodka comes in a glass skull. It's good. It is good. I do like it, Kevin. If you're looking for gift ideas, but the one I'm gonna go with.
Hint.
I'm gonna go with because I just changed your life in the holidays here. The one I'm gonna go with, The Rock.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
God damn, you
That's
won.
a good pull.
That's a
Greg
good
Miller
one.
That's a
wins.
good pull.
And it's one of those where this is, I do believe The Rock and I are going to cross paths at some point and have him on the shows or whatever. And it's one of those like, sure, I'd love him on the Game Over Greggy show, but I would love a one-on-one. I have 2 hours with The Rock just to talk to The Rock because there's so much to talk about with The Rock. But his childhood and his upbringing and all that. And he talks about how rough it was all the time, his wrestling stuff. Because like really the interesting thing about The Rock is that when he was actively wrestling, and I was this is Attitude Era, and I'm watching
Brahma
it.
Bull.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
right? And I'm watching it like he was so charismatic and so good in the ring, and I did not like him based on the whole feud he had with Mankind. And I'm talking about like behind the scenes stuff where he didn't like say thank you to Mick Foley after that match.
He
and shit
was
like
a
that.
heel though, correct?
But I'm talking about what I knew of him in the business.
Okay.
I'm not even talking about what's happening in front of the screen. I'm talking about back on stage.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And so I want to. So it was always this weird thing of like, I love you in the ring, but I don't like the way you act backstage, and da 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 da, right? And then now he's like, not everything you see about this man is that he's genuinely awesome. And so I want to talk to him about like,
The barbecue.
did you
Fuse
yeah, of
yourself
course.
with a tank? How is he so
no,
big?
see, I know.
So
I watched
so
that. I
big.
watched that. There's a great video. Oh, I think BuzzFeed did it, right? Where they like
Probably.
the one guy eats The Rock's meal for a day or 2 days and does his workout plan, and it's just like he's eating salmon at like fucking 7 a.m, and he's like so disgusted with himself and then thrown up by the end of the day. There's that, sure, but I mean, I want to know like, did I have it wrong, or did you really mature, or like what what was his journey and his growth path to become the person he is today? Because like everything, I'm like, you're amazing. You know what I mean? Like whether it's that he's taking selfies with like, the kids who are like knocking on his mom's house, like, when he's there, when they see him there, whether it's that he's helping this person doing that. And like, he's just doing all these things that are
marrying people.
really nice people. Yeah. Marrying Nick Mundy. Yeah. That was awesome. You know what I mean? That's the thing is like, he's down for awesome, cool internet stuff. He gets where he is. And
yeah.
like, that's what's
Him
like,
doing his like Instagram battles with Kevin Hart.
yeah.
Fucking hilarious. I love him, man.
And that's the thing is like, yeah, did I have it wrong, or did he really mature? Or like where, I want to talk to The Rock and just talk his ear off. And
That's the best answer.
thank you. I tried.
Colin, you want to go next?
Sure. I mean, a name came to mind immediately, and then I was thinking of other names. But I'm going to go with my gut instinct. Barack
Trending-
Obama.
You mean the president
the
of
president
the
of the
United States
yeah.
of America?
I would like to just go to the White House for just a night and just have dinner with him and beers and just hang out with him and just
maybe
like
watch a movie.
talk to him, because I don't agree with a lot of what Barack Obama says, but he's a really fascinating person and I like him personally. I think that he's very likable personally. I think that's why he was reelected. I think it would just be fun to like, and I'm not looking to like get off the record information from or anything like that, but it would just be fun to like talk to him, being like, what is this like? Like,
Yeah.
you really are one of the more unique presidents we've ever had. And it's not because he's a black man. It's because he was an obscure, inexperienced no one,
Yeah.
and suddenly became this rock star and destroyed McCain, and destroyed Romney. Like, it would be interesting to just talk to him and be like, what has this been like for you? You're young. You have a young family. You have aged significantly. I don't know if you saw he gave a speech from the West Wing, only his third one, about ISIS like a couple days ago, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, you
He's
look
great.
so old. This job destroys men.
Yeah.
I remember
and crushes men.
I remember on his inauguration day watching, not the inauguration, but like all, the 12 hours of coverage before and after, and them doing like, and here's how we've computer aged him. I
What
remember
he'll
looking
look like.
I remember looking at it like, no way. And now you look, you're like, man,
It
this
was
job
just
takes a
that
lot out of you.
image from Tales from the Crypt.
The job of the president is absurdly difficult, and I don't think people can relate to that. And I don't think you get a lot of access to ask people like very candid questions about it. And I would like to just talk to him about it. I'm like, what is it like? That man has to get up every morning, go every morning, not just weekdays, not just some days, go to an intelligence briefing in the Situation Room in the White House, find out all the shit that's fucked up around the world, figure out what you're going to do about that. He wakes up and he's like, well, there was a bombing in, Libya, and we have, some people died. There's 4 American hostages in Iran. We have to figure that out. And, the North Koreans are doing this, and they're threatening the South Koreans. And I'd sit there and be like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And you just delegate, and then you go, and then that's probably 8 a.m. Then he has to go to the West Wing and sit in the Oval Office and just be like, okay, now I have all this shit I have to do. I have all these meetings. Maybe I have to go on Air Force One and go overseas for a few days. Or it's like that man never stops.
What's that mental fortitude you have to have?
It's incredible. Like if I always was like, Joe Biden, when they were talking about him running, which he's not going to.
Joe Biden.
They were talking about how he was going to make a one-term pledge, which no one really has made since like Teddy Roosevelt is really the last prominent person who have ever made a one-term pledge, and James Polk made it and all that kind of stuff back in the 19th century. But like for guys that anticipate the job's going to be so hard or just like get their job done, to want to do it again is almost self-hating in a way. Like I don't believe that these people that are president end up wanting to be president. I feel like they think they want to be president, and then they feel like they should be and have to be, because why do you walk away from it?
Yeah.
Like, how can you walk away from it? Like, how could a Barack Obama in 2012 been like, I don't want to do this again? Like, he's like, I have it, I can win, and this is the most important job in the world, and I've always wanted to do this, so I do it. I would just love to sit there across the table from him, drink some beers, have like some cheeseburgers. He's like really supposed to be like a total down dude. He likes eating like shit. He likes drinking. He smokes cigarettes.
Smoke. Yeah. I would love to have a cigarette.
He apparently
with
like chain
Obama.
smokes, like, and like how to like
Wouldn't
give it up.
you?
Yeah.
That's the problem with the presidency, though. Is like it's you never get kudos, right? No one ever goes, hey, nailed it today, right? You're always dealing with the shittiest fucking thing that's happening in the world, and you're never gonna get it right. No matter what you do, there's gonna be some fucking asshole out there that's like, you fucked this up.
Oh, so it's like a Zack Snyder trailer.
It's exactly like a Zack Snyder.
Sounds like existing.
Yeah, because like it would just be fun to like.
That would be
I don't want to
fascinating.
have like a White House, white glove dinner with him or anything like that. I'd love to like walk into to his residence upstairs with just a bag of 5 guys or something like that, and like a 12-pack, because he would be totally down for that probably, and just be like, can I just talk to you for a few hours about,
let's hash it out.
And like I don't want to talk to him about policy. I don't want to talk about what we disagree on. I just want to ask him questions about the job. Like, what is this like?
Yeah.
How awful is this?
Well,
And especially if you could speak to him candidly,
Yeah.
right? And that would be the most fascinating thing. If there was for some reason some mystical power where they're like, okay, no matter what's said in here, it's never gonna get out, and actually fucking
And the
talk to him
switch
like,
turned and he
yeah,
was
you turn the
normal.
switch and you're in the cone of silence, and he tells you everything. You're like, fuck, like what's really going on in the world? How many black ops are you running? Like what's going like?
Yeah, I mean,
what are you really up against? How many terrorist attacks have you never told us about that you guys have thwarted? Shit like that.
Yeah, they know incredible things. I mean, and the president doesn't even know everything. The defense secretary is really the one that knows a lot of fucked up shit. So it's like, and you see that in Independence Day.
I was gonna say plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Independence Day.
But there's truth to that, not the alien thing, but there's truth to like,
Or is
there's
there?
truth to there's truth to siloing information so the president doesn't know certain things. For plausible deniability. But it would be interesting to ask him those questions, be like, what was it like? Like they watched Obama watched Osama bin Laden get killed.
Yeah.
They all had GoPros on, all the commandos. They sat in the Situation Room and watched the SEALs just murder everyone, and then take bin Laden, fucking kill him, and throw him in the ocean. You know what I mean? So it was like, what was that like? Where's that footage, by the way? I wonder if that footage is ever going to get out. But like they know things, they see things as presidents. It's not only unique to him, everyone. I mean, George W. Bush would be a fascinating person to talk to, or Bill Clinton. Bush won. Reagan would have been really interesting too. Carter would be an interesting person to talk to. It's just interesting to get the perspective of Jimmy Carter would be interesting too, just because like he wanted it and he got destroyed by Ronald Reagan in 1980. I mean, like rebuked and like thrown in the fucking trash heap of history, basically. And there you would almost get a different perspective from him, because he's looked at as like one of the worst presidents we've ever had. And it would be interesting to get his perspective of it. It seems to really hurt him, like when like people interview him and they kind of broach that subject with him. So that would be an interesting. Jimmy Carter's an old man. He's gonna die soon. He's in his 90s. So it's like, it would be fun to meet celebrities or musicians, and I love that kind of stuff. I'll never forget. I've met 311, I've met Dredge, I've met all like these guys that are my heroes. And that's fun. But if we can have a real substantive conversation about something, about someone who's like real, who like has really seen shit and done shit, and I would like to do it with him when he's still in office. I think that would be, just like totally fascinating. So that's my answer.
And I know you guys have seen some shit and done some shit. As you guys like keep talking, this is good. I like it.
What?
I'm just I'm just
You
saying.
like that we keep talking?
No, yes, absolutely. But I'm fine.
Kevin is doing. It looks like he's giving a blowjob, but he means get closer to the microphone.
Speaking of The Rock, by the way, you should ask him. Speaking of the Bin Laden raid, he was the first person that knew about it,
That's awesome.
and you should ask him who told
Oh,
him that.
he's talked about that before.
I don't even know what you're talking
He had
about.
like a cousin on the SEAL team or whatever.
shit.
He probably shouldn't be talking about that, since his
Probably
cousin's probably
shouldn't,
going to be removed from the SEAL.
I mean, you go, but I'll look it up so I have the right answer. Well, who do you want to? What obscure DP do you want to sit down with?
No, I would. I mean, there's a couple people that I would love to sit down with. Right now, I'd love to have dinner like in the next week with J.J. Abrams, just to be like, what is your fucking life like? Like, it's coming. It's coming. All right. That was my gut instinct, was to say, like, I'd love to talk to him and be like, what has this whole process been like? Like, tell me truthfully, like, has it been more of a pain in the ass than you think it's worth, or is it like, has all the pain been worth it? Because you have to imagine that making a Star Wars film has been anything but easy. Anything.
Why wasn't he on the poster? You can tell me.
There you go. But the other thought I had was maybe sitting down with someone like Ridley Scott, right, who's had really great successes and really big failures, right? And that, I think, might be a little bit more fascinating, because JJ really hasn't had a bad film. He had Super 8 that people, it wasn't the most amazing film ever made, but no one really panned it. Everyone was like, that was a pretty cool film. He made Mission Impossible 3. He had Lost, he had Alias. I mean, he's got a series of hits that have basically led him up to, rightfully so, directing Star Wars. But I would love to sit with Ridley and be like, where did it go with Prometheus? Like, where did you talk to? Like, I want to know that process of, because, I'm fascinated with when films that should be amazing kind of don't live up to that. But I think I have to be honest with you guys and say that if Tim's going to go with Jay-Z, I got to go with Kanye. Just because the Twitter battle would be fucking amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Of our dinner parties, like fighting against each other.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can we be at the same restaurant?
Yes, back toward each other. Just
Holy
fucking with
shit,
each other
I
the
love
entire
it.
time. I think it would be amazing.
Good. That's real good.
Yeah.
So, there, from what I've been able to dig up, no official comment from The Rock. He said the blah, blah, blah all this time. But this article here is pointing out the fact that it turns out that Johnson's cousin is a Navy SEAL and reportedly couldn't contain himself with the confidential news. So you assume that's how it was.
Yeah, so like you don't know the story?
Mm-mm.
Like before bin Laden was ever, like the SEALs were going after bin Laden in Pakistan. Obviously the government knew about it. The Pakistani government knew about it. The first person to say anything about it was The Rock.
The Rock,
Twitter.
yeah.
What did he do?
Like
In case you were a ham living under a rock and didn't know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson tweeted at 10:24 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, more than an hour before Obama's speech, which was held at 11:35 p.m. Eastern, that he, quote, just got word that will shock the world. Land of the free, home of the brave, damn proud to be an American, end quote. And I remember seeing that. And
Yeah,
like,
I
what?
do, yeah.
And then it was,
Well,
Obama's
because then I remember people were like,
Obama
people
got him
saw,
someone.
people connected quickly The Rock's tweet with the fact that Obama, like the administration announced they're gonna have a late night announcement, which is weird, 11:30 at night in Washington. Like what? It could have only been a few things, and people were like, "Well," one of the things was like, "Oh, obviously Bin Laden's dead," but there was other things too, being like, "Who else did we fucking assassinate, or what else fucking
Sure.
happened?"
we were so upset because we'd gotten burgers from Gotz's roadside cafe and we're having a party to watch the food truck show finale to find out which fucker was going to get the food truck and a deal. And then here we are. President Obama has to come out. We get who killed this terrorist. Great. Still never saw that episode of the
You
food
don't know
truck
who
show.
won?
No, I know who won.
Oh.
Thanks to time zones.
Mm.
And I heard his restaurant's closed. So
pretty big
Didn't-
deal. So
I'm just saying it was a pretty big deal for the food truck guy who got his barbecue food truck thing and then two food truck things.
Could you
One was in the Mall of America.
can you imagine what that was like? By the way,
What?
For, like the SEALs?
Getting your own food truck?
No,
That's
the SEALs
cool, I
landing
guess.
2 Blackhawks
Fuck
in
no.
Pakistan.
One of which like landed
They
wrong
can't-
on the thing.
Yeah, like it's all some of it's fucked up. They're like running towards this compound. No one knows they're coming. They're just fucking like fucking popping people. Walk into this building. All of it's on camera, being transmitted to Washington D.C. and to the CIA and all this kind of stuff. They fucking take Bin Laden's body, run back to the helicopter,
Detonate the other helicopter. Remember how they had to
Yeah.
demo that helicopter because it fall down? Those badass
It's
like
like a-
stealth copters.
It's like I was like, this is incredible. Like what an incredible. I want that footage to come out, and I think the only reason
fucking
I
dude.
think the only reason it hasn't is because they're afraid it's gonna be used as like propaganda.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's why they never saw the, Hillary Clinton and everyone saw the picture of the body before they popped it in the ocean, but they never released that either because then that would be a good propaganda tool. But I love that kind of shit. This like fucking Black Ops kind of. They just went and just fucking killed this dude and everyone like his whole posse and just bounced. And we didn't lose anyone.
that scene in Zero Dark 30 was like that. It was really well done. There's zero music. It's all diegetic sound. It's just them, and you're seeing most of it through that like fucking, which is always eerie, the night vision, like not infrared, but I guess it's night vision.
The green.
And they're just like, Osama, like they're calling for him to mimic like it's like it's fucked up, but there is a certain part of it that's like, yes,
Yeah, nailed him.
fuck you,
Nailed him.
fuck you, buddy.
I wish we captured him. I wish we captured him alive. That would have even been better.
Yeah. Matty Kerr,
Yeah.
that was a good topic.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there anything you want to plug? We didn't do like the whole intro. You're from Montana.
Yeah, I'm from Montana. I'm from Missoula, Montana.
You have your own YouTube show.
I do. It's Matt and Matty. It's youtube.com/Matt and Matty. We just
don't worry.
spell that.
Kevin just put it up.
Oh, hey, thanks. It's really nice. We also do have a Patreon we just launched. I think we have like $21.40
Congratulations.
Going. Hey, thanks. It feels good.
No, I know
Yeah,
it does.
yeah,
Trust us.
absolutely.
We know how good it
Yeah.
feels. People being nice to you on Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, definitely doing that. That'd be awesome. But I'm just thankful to be here.
Oh, we're thankful to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also thankful for Loot Crate, who sponsored that topic. Would you classify yourself as a geek, gamer, or pop culture nerd? Then this is the subscription box for you. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/kindoffunny and enter the offer code kindoffunny to save $3 on any new subscription. Not that long ago, and depending on where you live, not so far away, Loot Crate blasted off into a voyage across the galaxy, searching the far reaches of space to find universally awesome gear. Using December's Star Wars The Force Awakens loot as a launchpad, we landed on some equally cosmic items for Halo 5 and more. With an exclusive Funko Pop and an exclusive shirt in this month's crate, this is the loot you're looking for. Basically, Loot Crate is like a friend who knows that what you love and surprises you with an awesome present every month. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, Jack, that's it. It's over.
Nice cracking.
You like that? The voice is not back from PSX yet. So go to lootcrate.com/kindoffunny and enter the offer code kindoffunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. Colin,
Yes.
what's your topic?
I wanted to talk, I've been thinking a lot about friendship lately.
Yay.
Camaraderie. And specifically what the parameters of friendship are for you guys. And because I think everyone has I think the word friend is used a little loosely sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a friend? What is an acquaintance? And all of this. And so I'm curious what you guys, what your parameters are for friends or good friends are. And I'll give you an example. Recently, I guess not too recent now, I broke up with my girlfriend, and it was my choice, but it was hard, it's hard to do. And, there's hurt feelings and it's a lot of difficulty and it takes you out of the game, And I realized that I had great friends that really understood me, including the people sitting in this room, we were just met, but
But he's the best friend.
whatever,
Best friends.
and because this is not something we've talked about with the audience or anything like that. It's just something I had to deal with, and you guys knew, and you guys were there for me, and it reminded me that I have good friends that understand me. And one of the parameters that I identified is just compassion, understanding when a person needs to just not be around for a while because they have other shit that they have to deal with. So that the breakup really reminded me that I have it pretty good with my friends, and that I have just a good core of people that I can really lean on and rely on, including you guys. Definitely you guys more than anything maybe right now in my life. But I just identified that, that it's not just about laughs and camaraderie and all those kinds of things. That's important, but it is about for me compassion. It's about loyalty. I'm a fiercely loyal friend, which I think that Greg more than almost anyone can speak to in a lot of different ways.
Colin is a fiercely loyal friend.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
I just said that.
I know.
And so loyalty is another
That's
thing that
legit.
I really look for in my friends. I really consider myself there for the people I care about. I might be passive and stuff like that sometimes, but when someone really needs me, I'm there. So that's another thing I identified. So anyway, I just wanted to open the floor up to you guys and see what are the parameters of friendship for you guys, because I think it might be different for different people. Different people have different relationships. My 3 closest friends in this world are Greg, Mike Pope, and Ramon. And I'm friends with them for different reasons, and we have 3 different friendships, but there are common themes between all of them. And it is that compassion and honesty and loyalty. I know that these 3 people I can really call on and rely upon for anything if I really need them. I know that if I really, really needed Mike right now, he would get on a plane and come here. If I really needed Ramon to be here, he would be here, And so even though my relationship with these 3 people are quite different from one another and founded in different ways and forged in different ways. My friendship with Mike Pope is forged when we were children. My relationship with Ramon is forged when we were in college, and my relationship with Greg is forged as adults. So they mean different things. They do have these common themes, these checkboxes that I like to check with my friends, and that you know that you have someone in your life that you really care about. So I'm curious what you guys think about that.
Yeah, for me, it actually took leaving IGN to understand what friends meant to me, like what that word meant to me. Because, you know, like you were saying, there are the different, you know, eras of your life. There's your childhood, there's your school, then there's your post-school. And with all of that, I've had a whole bunch of friends over the years and acquaintances and this and that. And there's the core group that's always there, and they will always be there, and the loyalty and all these checkboxes kind of come into play there. But then there's people that come into your life, and they don't have that time to kind of develop with you in the same way. Like, you can't have those same experiences because you can't have class together. That's just not a thing we can do anymore in our life, because that we're past that, you know? And I think a lot of those experiences kind of meld and form what friendship means to you, because that's your entire life. Then you start getting acquaintances and people you work with, and it's like, oh, these are the people I hang out with every day. So we're friends, we're having fun. And it's like, all right, so to be a friend, you need to have fun with them. You need to want to talk to them. You need to be there for them. You need to whatever. But then you start to realize it's like, oh, wait, if you are those things, does that equal friend?
Yep.
Or does that just equal people you're around?
Convenience
and all, and exactly, and all that stuff. And
you're friendly with them.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it.
I've thought a lot about this lately.
Yeah, and then you think about, like, there's some good friends you can have that can kind of be there, and they could be a good friend momentarily or even for a while. So it's not necessarily that there's people that are just acquaintances, but it's like they were a friend from these years of my life. And, you know, maybe I can gain that back or maybe not, but they're gone from my life now in terms of being a friend. Like that, the equation's not equal in terms of that. But it really kind of made me realize that, to me, simplifying it to its most basic thing is my friends are the people that I want to eat dinner with. They're the people that I will hit up to get dinner with, and that constantly think, I haven't eaten with this person in a while. It doesn't need to be dinner. It can be lunch. It could be whatever. But it's like, for us, when we go too long without getting like a group lunch, it stops feeling like friendship. It starts feeling more like IGN felt.
Sure.
Where it was just like, whatever. Because it's like, us going to get group lunches is not, I mean, it is when we talk about work and stuff, but it's like, we're hanging out. You know what I mean? That to me is when we feel most like friends, or when we do get dinner. It's rare, but when we do. And I think the leaving IGN thing, to me, it's like, I have so many people that I love at IGN and I care for in all these different ways, but it's the people that I, week after week, maybe once a month even, it doesn't need to be that crazy, but I'm like, ooh, I haven't had dinner with Finnegan in a while. I haven't had dinner with Darren or whatever. It's like, these are people that they're my friends. So I should eat with them, because that is when we can catch up and actually talk. And yeah, I don't know, dinner.
That's the
Theme of the episode.
No, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
with.
good point.
Yeah, God damn it, you're right. No, I mean, that was, I think that was the same thing for me, where I think my definition of friendship's been rocked hard, and I'm still trying to come down on what it means anymore. You know what I mean? Because, you would have asked me last year or whatever, and that, I would have to work with all my friends here, and and it's like, no, they really weren't my friends. We're acquaintances, we're friendly together, but it's not like we had the relationship I thought we had, because you are in that, IGN was always interesting because we were, and this is interesting the same way, is that we're horsing around having fun. Like you're talking about, it's fun times. And then there are these intense bonding situations of E3 and this and travel and that time this happened and we're sharing a hotel room and da-da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? And then you get removed from it and it's like, well, where are they? You know what I mean? Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to, like, you know, for Poe and me, it's so natural. You know what I mean? When I'm back in Chicago, I'm with Poe. You know what I mean? Colin and I live together. So when I'm home, Colin's here. You know what I mean? Like, but like, and now it goes both ways, of course. I haven't reached out to a number of people, you know what I mean? Or we have that casual, like, oh man, we should get dinner soon. We should. And then it never really comes together, right? But like, there's that intense draw and bond if I'm in Chicago, I got to see Poe. And when I'm, you know, Colin and I haven't been around each other, we're going to see each other and be, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still struggling with it. I don't have a good answer for it, of how it all works out and parameters and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm friendly with tons of people, but it's not like, it's hard to put anything to it. You know what I mean? Like I struggled with a long time of like, at IGN, I always said we were always family. You know what I mean? And we are. And there's that the family crest of IGN. You know what I mean? Like you know, it was so cool at the Game Awards this week to win my award, and the next award Dunham won, or Rocket League won. You know what I mean? So he came through with his award, and it was like, oh my god, look at this. This is not the lives we thought we'd have 8 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like that's like that family bond. You know what I mean? Where it's like I'm not running out and getting lunches with Dunham. Granted, he lives far away, but even when I roll through San Diego, right? I'm rolling through for work or whatever. You know what I mean? Like for me, the best, like, I guess for me personally right now, as I struggle with this definition and who's a real friend and who's just an acquaintance and how was it a matter of convenience for this, that, and the other, the best example I can give is Scott Lowe and Cindy Tang, right? Is that like when they lived in San Francisco, Christina and I hung out with them all the time. Scott and I would go do stuff. And it wasn't like, I shouldn't say all the time, right? Because we're super fucking busy. So maybe I'm talking about we actually go and hang out and, do this once or a month or whatever. And then we went to Japan together and there's this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And when they moved to LA, it was like a month later afterwards where it's like, fuck, I really miss them. And as I went to text him, he texted me the same thing. And you're like, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, a similar thing with Dave Fenoy. You know what I mean? Like Dave and I have hung out in real life 5-6 times, you know what I mean? But there was that bond where I remember that Sunday morning where I was like, Dave was awesome. And then he looked at my phone and he texted me, hey man, just thinking of you in my backyard. But when I was like, oh fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the
that's real too, because his backyard is amazing.
Yeah, there's like this serendipitous thing of like, you know what I mean? You meet these people and you do have that thing. And like you're saying, it's completely different adult friendship, right? You know what I mean? Like Dave Fenoy and I didn't grow up together, you know what I mean? Like Poe and I have hours and hours of stories from everything we ever did because we were together all the time, you know what I mean? Since 8th grade on or whatever. And we'd known each other longer than that. But like, that's real. You know what I mean? There's that real connection there where you think of each other and you reach out to talk to each other and you connect when you can and do these different things. So yeah, I don't know. It's what are the parameters for friendship? Weird phone conversation, text messages when you're both thinking of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I it's hard too because like I think for the most part we're so underwater that it's hard for us to even like deal with any interpersonal relationships because we're so busy most of the time dealing with the business aspect of it. But
and that's fucked it up a lot. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing is like, I bet I don't reach out because I'm so busy, and I bet people don't reach out to me because they know I'm so busy.
Yeah, or they're busy as well, right?
Yeah.
And that is a
nobody does
circumstance
anything else.
of where we live as well. Like, and you guys talk about the people we left who are still working at IGN, but I remember being that person when people would leave, and I'd be like, oh, this person meant something to me, but I'm just too fucking busy to like, with the rest of the shit that's happening with the other 30 people that are still here fighting the war with me, that like, I can't focus on this one person that's coming back into my world now because all of this is too much for me to deal with, right? And I remember that because I remember when Dunham left. I remember when Hillary left. I remember when Doug left. I remember when all these, like Charles left. And I was like,
Charles, yeah.
I was like, fuck, I loved hanging out with Charles or Clayman or Brudvig. And then all of a sudden I saw Brudvig one time at E3 and I was like, how long has it been since I've fucking seen you, man? And it had been like a year. I'm like, oh shit. Now Brudvig and I were never that hugely close, but we were friendly toward each other. We partied, we drank a lot. We did Beta Breakers like 3 years in a row together. So there was a lot of
trial by fire as well.
Oh my God. To me, I think I give people leeway. I give people the benefit of the doubt because there are friends of mine that I've known since I was in the 6th or 7th grade that I don't see for years. Then all of a sudden they'll come back into my life and I'll be like, that's right. We have a camaraderie. We have this special thing that is just, it's hard to put words to. But then there's also the idea of the loyalty aspect of friendship that I really appreciate and respect. And it kind of is that old saying where it's really easy to be a good friend when everything's going well.
Yep.
You know, when times are good and business is good and everything's good. But what I really admire about us specifically was that January and December of last year were really fucking hard. Like that was the time that I had heart palpitations. Like my chest hurt. Granted, I was smoking a lot of cigarettes back then with Kevin because he's a little fucker. But that was really, and we were, you know, it was hard. But that's when I knew I was like, I think we're actually pretty good friends because we got through that because we were there for each other because we were loyal, if not to the cause, to the concept that we knew that this was important to all of us in our lives, and
at
this
that
was the
point,
next step.
we knew it was too late.
We
we already quit, even if I didn't like you guys.
No, but
like,
that's not
fuck.
true. I mean, we're all highly employable, and I'd be willing.
We're all
to bet
highly employable.
I'd be willing to bet if we were like, you know, if we for any reason had to go back to IGN, we could go back to IGN. That's not what it was. It was we all believed in each other and we wanted to be there for each other, and that to me is like my brother's one of my best friends because he's there for me no matter what.
Right.
You know, he's always going to be. And I'd like to believe that I'd be there for you guys. I know Kevin will be there for me just because that is Kevin. Kevin, I would be there for you as well. Yeah. Except we're not smoking anymore, so stop trying to get me to smoke.
Kevin's the weirdest thing, though, to me. And I mean, I don't even know how to bring this up or explain it, but like, I do not see Kevin as a friend. I never have seen Kevin as a friend. Like, I see Kevin as like, it's such a weird, like, family thing that it's like, but it's beyond family. Like it's more. I see Kevin to say he is a brother. It's like not even accurate enough. It's
You guys are
different than
brothers.
that.
You
We're like
are.
we are
You're the same
there it
person.
is,
joined.
pal.
I don't know. It's weird.
He's
But it's
kinda
like,
like
I
a-
can't imagine my life without Kevin being there for like 20 hours a day of it. You know.
He's kind of like, you ever get like when you
Yeast
wear the
infection.
same, yeah, or when you wear the same pair of jeans like 2 or 3 days in a row, and you get one of those weird ingrown hairs on your ass. That's kind of like Kevin. He's there to remind you to change your jeans every once in a while. It's a necessity.
I met Kevin for about 10 minutes, and right before we filmed this, he asked me for a cigarette in the hallway.
No, I asked you if you smoked because I saw a weird box in
Pants. You're checking out the bulges.
Is that a box in your pants?
You want to smoke? No, I think to your point, Nick. I mean, I don't know if maybe we'll tell the audience stories one day, like when we're older, but I don't think that they can appreciate how really difficult it was for us in the fall of 2014 to come to conclusions. And I'll never, ever, ever forget the conversations we all had together about should we stay or should we go? And Greg had some pretty, I'm not going to get into it, but some pretty stand-up moments for me specifically. And that was the sign of friendship for me when some of the things Greg did for me in the fall. But it's you guys really are like my capital F friends, after all that. And I've known you guys for a long time, especially Nick but we went through something that a lot of people can't understand together, and it wasn't easy. It was really hard. It was the best decision we ever made, but we all had to convince each other over and over again that it was the best decision we ever made, or that it was the right decision we were making, and then we realized very quickly it was the best decision we could have possibly made. But there's something to that. I guess like experiential kind of stuff too is part of friendship as well. I met Ramon because we both loved 311. That's why I met him. I would have never met Ramon if we didn't have that same musical experience of I walked by his dorm room and he was playing 311 on the guitar.
Oh, man.
That's how I met him. You know? So it's like
Serendipity.
it's weird. There's weird shit like that sets precedents that then you're like, well, Ramon is like a brother to me. And then isn't that weird that Ramon and Greg love each other? Isn't that strange? There's like something about all of us that's the same.
Some weird commonality,
Yeah.
some weird theme that
Like
we're not aware of.
Ramon and Greg love each other. It's weird. Like they
when I say Ramon, I do the hand motion for myself.
so it's like
ooh, I like that.
so
That's
isn't
good.
it also a part of a Venn diagram of the things that all mean the same things to each other?
That's how family works. And I mean, because I don't want to speak for you, Colin, but a special friend shout out, and this is Clements. And you know what I mean? Like Clements, like I remember when he got laid off at IGN and when that wave happened or whatever.
I was so
and like,
pissed off.
And I was devastated. I couldn't stop crying. And it was like at the moment, I mean, we've been through a lot of layoffs. Just how, companies work or whatever.
wave like
and that was
4.
the first time where it was ever like, I'm devastated. You know what I mean? And that was and part of what you hit on earlier was the fact that like people leave all the time that we like. You know what I mean? And it's always like, yeah, we'll catch up, and you'll see him at E3 or whatever. You know what I mean? And I didn't want that with him, and I didn't know that at the time. You know what I mean? Like I didn't realize him leaving would be that. And then when he moved to Oakland, it was all fucked. But like you know what I mean?
Well, that's
Like,
what happens when you move to the East Bay.
it's now that thing where you like when I see Clements and I'm with Clements, we're right back to it. You know what I mean? It is a Poe kind of thing. It is a Colin kind of thing.
And I think that's like what I was saying about the grown
Nicole kind of thing.
Like
A
there's
Nicole Tan thing.
I have friends like my friend Winnie. Like she's been one of
Winnie
my best
Cooper.
friends since I first met her in 7th grade. And she can be gone for I don't see her. She's so fucking smart. So she's like going to all these fancy schools and shit all over the goddamn world. She's at Yale now, no big deal. And I'm like, I cannot see her for years. And then I see her and it's like, we're
Right.
good. We're totally
Instantaneous.
right there. And like going back to what you were saying, this is interesting because we're talking about like the acquaintances and working together and convenience and all this stuff. It's like in the same way, this is very similar to IGN, where it's like I don't think necessarily we'd hang out with each other if it wasn't for Kind of Funny. And I think that Kind of Funny is like bringing us together. And it's like there is that question of would we hang out outside of this if we weren't doing this together and whatever. And
I'd hang out with Kevin.
Going back to my
Kevin's fun.
what I was talking about the dinners and stuff. For the first time ever, we went to dinner together recently, and it's like it felt different. Like I definitely felt like I hit a level with you where it's like, it's the culmination. I don't know the best way to explain this. There's nothing special about the people I go to dinner with at IGN compared to everyone else at IGN. They're all family. It's just, those are the family members that went from here to have that one moment that's like, now we're friends,
Yeah.
And it's like, it's little things like that it's like, now when I look in the future, maybe it's like, say we get pulled apart. There's an earthquake that like brings us apart,
Well,
and
we're
it's
in San
like,
Francisco.
yeah, it's like you are one of those people that I'm like, I want to catch up with Colin. Let's get dinner.
Right.
Let's drink bourbon and do Colin
Yeah,
stuff.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
And it's like that's cool. I feel like we really, and this was recent. This is like spoiler alert, like last week. But like I think we became friends, and that's cool.
Yeah,
By
I
my
agree.
definition, at least.
No, I agree. I think that there is something about breaking bread or drinking with someone, and it's symbolic. It's been eating with someone has been something for thousands of years since cavemen were sitting around fucking fire. Like it was about the people you trusted, and it's a primal thing. I think actually. In a weird way, you know.
I'm sorry, I can't
I
focus
know,
on you right now
It's
because
comedy of errors over here. drops
Kevin as usual ruining
drops
everything.
the pen, then doesn't want to lean into the frame, so he pulls up the
Oh,
arm.
my
Then
God.
he reaches his thing down. His shirt pulls up, so we see his
Holy
belly.
shit.
He's just like, what is going on?
As for me, I know you guys are. I kind of want to let you guys just all talk because.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I did that on purpose. I want you guys to like.
You're pulling a Colin.
Yeah, you just sit on the side for a little bit and then get my point across. No, I definitely think that you guys all said very similar things to what I feel. I look at friendship as me as a person. I mean, I work customer service. I like to make sure I'm always friendly. I see regulars. I see people I used to go to elementary school. I'm in a smaller town. It's not like San Francisco, but like every day I see someone like my first grade teacher, or I'll see like my old ex-girlfriend, or I'll see something. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's a small community, and everyone is just happy. And I look at that as that's a lot of acquaintances. It's not like friends. But the way I describe the parameters of friendship are lifelong friends. And I have like maybe 3 just forever, just solidified that they can go wherever they go. And then the moment they come back, it's like you said, it snaps and you can just pick it back up and you want to know what they're doing. You know that, like you said, when you're in your worst spot, they're there for you. And I think that it's all about trust and loyalty. And honestly, I just like to laugh. If someone can make me laugh and have a good time, like, you got to look at life in the humorous ways. And be kind. Shit, man, this world's fucking way too dark in times. Be kind.
Yeah, and that goes back full circle to what I was saying in the beginning, is that like the extraordinary kindness showed to me by the people I care about
Yeah.
during that particular time was reinforcing, just like it was when we left. You know, it was important to me. It showed a great deal of caring and of loyalty. You know, that people, you know, I know I'm not the easiest person in the world to deal with. You know, like, you know,
nah, you're good.
like I don't think I'm as hard as I make it out to be sometimes,
You're
because
not.
I play
We
up my
give you a lot of
character quite a
shit.
bit. But I know that I have my quirks just like anyone does, and like I get into my spaces just like anyone does, and it takes this patient kind of person to be able to deal with anyone in those particular situations. So I appreciate it, you know. So let me also thank you guys for that as well. Yeah.
No, thank you, Colin.
You're
for your
welcome.
friendship. Tim,
Yes.
what's your topic?
So my topic is playgrounds, which might sound like a weird topic. And you
No,
know
it
what?
makes sense because isn't it? It's Nick that has to stay like 500 feet away from him at all times.
Yes, that is why I'm bringing
right?
this up.
Fucking nailed you.
No, so the reason I bring this up, the reason I bring this up is recently on the internet I came across like someone posted like, oh, for anyone that grew up in SF, like you'll know this type shit. So I
Yeah,
clicked on it and I'm like, oh my god, this is this old blog post about this children's playground, which is what it was called, in Golden Gate Park, and that's where I grew up. Like we grew up playing there. Kevin played there. We all have, anyone that's from SF has memories of that. Like whatever. So I'm looking through this and I'm like, man, I remember this. I remember this. Every single thing resonated with me in 10,000 stories.
Yeah.
And the point of it was that it was a literal death trap.
Oh yeah.
Like this thing is insane. I can't believe they let children play on this. I can't believe my parents brought us here and thought this was an okay thing to do.
yeah.
And the blog was about how it was crazy, and then it was demolished. Now it's like it's safer, but all it is just a new coat of paint on, like it's just modern death traps.
They put
You
down
know?
the rubber and stuff. Like they
Yeah,
got the-
so there's rubber, so it's like great. Now instead of getting sandpaper, you're fucking burning yourself on everything and all
Right.
this shit. But I just wanted to kind of appreciate it. And like I don't know, like I sent Kevin a link of pictures, so he might be putting pictures of what I'm talking about. If not,
Shaking his head, no, he's kind of lazy.
there's a link in the description at the very least. Make sure you do this of the that I'm talking about. I want you to do it. So
Put the link in, Kevin. It's so hard over there.
This park, there's a lot of playgrounds. Not all of them have a lot of shit, but this one had all of the crazy dangerous shit in one thing. So there was the classic, very, very, very long cement slides.
Cement slide.
The cement slide.
What's a cement slide?
Like a slide made of cement?
Yes.
Yeah, like really smooth, right?
Like, well,
it
started
should be.
that
It
way.
should be.
Yeah.
I know, like very old 60s or 70s
Yeah, so it'd be
style.
like,
Yeah, I know
so
what you're talking
it's two slides. It was like, pretty much there was a mountain. And then they would put cement on the hill. It's more of a hill than a mountain.
Okay.
On the hill. And then there'd be stairs going up the sides. And then there'd be two, like, it's like a drag race of
Okay.
slides, essentially. And it's just cement. And what kids would do, and so this is a sand playground, which is a key thing. Because, like, there's the sand playgrounds, there's the tan bark playgrounds, there's this, like, weird recycled rubber shit playgrounds. So this is a sand playground, which means that there's, like, dead skunk and it's Golden Gate Park.
Oh,
So,
Jesus.
Just
So there
imagine.
might be a bum buried.
There's
under this
needles
thing.
Many
everywhere.
bums. There's needles everywhere.
Just you're
like-
walking and a bum arm comes out and tries to stab you with a fucking.
No, but I mean, the needle. Like, I remember growing up, and needles were a real thing. Like,
Yeah.
it was like the number one thing. You go to the playground, your mom's like, "Hey, if you see a needle, let me know. Stay away from this area." And like, I just grew up thinking that there was needles everywhere, and there was. Like, we'd get maybe 1 out of every 4 times, like we'd find a fucking needle, and it's like that's insane.
I had to look out for mountain lions.
in the
We
sand.
didn't have that.
Yeah.
There were skunks. There was a lot of vicious skunks.
They come out
So-
of the sand. You're like, fuck.
So
It's
there's
like
these
Dune. They're just like.
there's these slides, right?
Yeah.
Now, cement slides on their own, that's pretty dangerous. Like, you can crack your fucking head open. and all
I'm gonna
this.
Google cement slides.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
that
having
I know
trouble.
that. Is it
Really?
like highly polished? Can you Google this? one?
So this is where
Cardboard.
shit got fucking real.
Right.
Is there would be a bunch of cardboard at the bottom of the slide,
Okay.
where the kids would take a little bit of sand, bring it up, and you'd get up the stairs. Everyone's in this like line.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it up, like hope you don't lose your fucking sand or whatever. Get to the top, put the sand on the top of the slide.
It's literally exactly
Get a
when
little bit of coating.
it's just what it is.
push the sand down, so the sand would kind of
Just this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. all
yeah,
right.
yeah. But it was much longer than those.
Slides made us. Is it this one? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like that. So, anyways, it's then the sand would kind of like coat the whole thing to get it that nice like. So you just fucking
Yeah, like a
speed-
shuffleboard table.
Exactly. And it was human shuffleboard.
Mm-hmm.
And you would race the person next to you, and there'd be someone behind you that would push you down. So these kids are just fucking flying down this thing until they hit the bottom, and then they'd fucking face plant and skid like
Yeah,
face
no more
first in the sand, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, all right, so that is the most dangerous thing in the world. How do you make it more dangerous? Oh, it's the 90s, so everyone has rollerblades and skateboards. So let's rollerblade and skateboard. That's it.
That's it. Yeah,
That
I
is
found it. I did some Googling here for Golden Gate Park. Slide. Watch out. There's a microphone there, Nick. Nick. Don't go to its level, Nick. Be the bigger man.
Why are these kids tiny? There's like toddlers doing this.
That's what,
fucking
I mean, that
sand
was
thing.
life, right? Like, that's
Why
what,
are these
that's
kids
what we
tiny?
did.
I'm going right to Twitter with that with no context.
You just expected big, beautiful kids, and you see some tiny
No, but
kids.
I imagine like they were like when you were playing on this thing. I just always imagined you were like 12.
Oh, no.
These
no.
kids look like they're 4, and their parents
Yeah.
are like, "This is fine."
Yep, but
this
that's
is totally fine.
That's
They're
what I'm
fine.
saying. So then, in addition to that, there was a giant monster truck tire where it was just the tire, and then you can get in the tire and just chill. And if the kids were resourceful enough, you can get a couple kids in there, start rocking it back and forth, and move the tire from its place where it's supposed to be until it tipped over and probably killed somebody.
Wait, are these pictures that are correct? Is what we're looking at here? Because this looks like Burning Man. This looks like the most
That's it.
dangerous. It
That's
looks
it.
like a
Oh,
little bit like Thunderdome.
I'm just
Yeah.
this is Golden Gate Park. Search for playground.
Yeah, children's playground is what it's called. There is a link for the people at home. You can click and you can follow along with this. So in addition to that, there was the big big wheel thing. Then there was literally just a ramp. So it was just a ramp surrounded by sand, and that's it.
You showed me a picture of this, and it looks like the Simpsons escalator that goes to nowhere.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's like,
it's
what do they
exactly what it
expect the
looks-
kids to do on this? Like, it's literally just a launch pad for them to run and just jump off.
Just
Like,
break their fucking knees
it's just
off.
like there's no other purpose for it than that. Then there'd just be the classic
that's the ramp there.
stumps of log that just go up at different lengths.
Oh,
So
you
it's
mean
like,
the fucking Christian Bale Batman Begins logs where you have to
Exactly.
stand down and people punch you in the
Yep,
stomach and you have to
it's-
like do push-ups?
so it's that, except there'd be like a bunch of them, and it's like what? So the kids are supposed to walk across them, and if they slip and fall, oops,
crack
you
right
lost
open.
the game. So there's that. Then of course there's the metal merry-go-round, but not the merry-go-round with the fucking animals and shit. It's the one where
Oh,
the
you
kid
just get on and
stands on
spin
it,
as fast
and you
as
fucking
possible.
spin as fast as you fucking can until someone dies. There's a common theme here, and it's death. All right. Then there's two more main attractions to this park that I'll just fucking never understand. One is what can only be described as like the remains of a Twisted Metal fight. Like, or even just like a level in Twisted Metal Black. Like, it's entire play structure that's made of metal bars. So it's just a bunch of metal bars that look like kind of like this, if they just kind of just extended everywhere, and it was just like there's colors. You know, the like
Not the igloo. You're not talking about the igloo, are you? Like the hemisphere, like
The half circle
sphere?
that's all made of metal. You climb up like an idiot.
that's a modern.
This thing
a
over
modern
here.
thing.
What the
It's
fuck
that.
is
Bunch of
that?
Triforces.
So it's a bunch of Triforces essentially, and it was made with like there's a whole bunch of zip lines where you can like grab a metal thing and zip from one area to the next. And it's like there's so much danger here. Like none of this made any sense.
Oh yeah.
And so it's all these damn bars. It's kind of similar to when you go to like the jungle or Chuck E. Cheese
okay.
or McDonald's, like the little
play
play things.
the
But
play
instead of
place.
it being tubes with floors, it's just sticks that you need to like kind of go. And if you fall, you're dead.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
fucking dead. Now, how can we make it more dangerous? The fact that there's homeless people that just sleep in them. Like that's just what they do. And they don't ever clean these, and it's fucking metal, so it rains and stuff, rust everywhere.
For the record, I don't think the homeless people sleeping in them were part of the design of the playground. That kind of just happens.
That's why
The game designers
We'll
place the homeless
put
people.
three
there.
homeless people in it at all times.
So there's all this stuff, and it's just like I remember even being little and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world, but also being frightened.
Oh,
Like, it
sure.
was like, this is scary, because there'd be the big kids, and the big kids were, I'm an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old who might as well have been 30 is running around, and I'm like, fuck, that guy's scared. And
Sure.
he's zipping on this goddamn thing. And then there's the monkey bars.
Monkey bars,
But the
yeah.
monkey bars that are circle rings that move. Because it's like the
It's like
advanced
a
level
it's like that
of
ninja show on
of-
G4.
What's it called? It's
Ninja
American
Warrior.
Ninja, but
Ninja
also
Warrior.
Legends of the Hidden
Legends
Temple.
of the Temple.
It's like the
Olmec.
freaking advanced version. We're like, holy shit. But then there's one last thing that, please guys, look at this link so you can see this, because I couldn't make this up if I fucking tried. It's like, how could you make the merry-go-round where if you run around it any more dangerous than it already is? How about you turn it on its side, and instead of it going in circles, it's going in like
Like a mouse wheel.
a freaking no, it's not even just mouse wheel.
Like a boat?
It like one of the boats, one
Yeah,
of those boat
carnival
rides
boats.
that
The
go like
carnival
this.
thing, yeah.
So what's everyone
Great.
try to do? Let's fucking flip it. Let's go all the way around. And like, I can't believe that until they demolished this place, they didn't get rid of
Can we get a
those.
death toll of kids that
Like,
have died?
I can't even imagine. Like,
kid
there's a
looks like his
gift there,
head's
which
stuck
is
in
really
it.
great. So it's like these kids would get on two sides, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, if we can fit 2 kids, maybe we can fit 4 kids. Maybe we can fit 6 kids. And then it became, how many people can use all their force to freaking make this thing go? And then eventually, like, no joke. This is the one thing I joked about a lot of people dying. No one died that I know of. I'm sure someone did. But
Homeless guy.
this was the thing where every single time I went, someone got injured. Bad.
Got wrecked.
Mangled is the best way to put it. Like, they'd fucking fly off this fucking thing into another one of the structures.
Of
like,
course.
oh my God, it was a disaster. And now RIP, because it's gone. I'll never be able to see it again. But what are your guys' like childhood playgrounds?
When I think you say childhood playground, I immediately jump to Spalding School in unincorporated Glen Ellen, which is where I grew up. Spalding School was like an abandoned school that was that had fields in the back and a playground in the front, and that's where like you'd go sometimes to play. You know what I mean? It was like Spalding School was active when like my parents were kids, right? I think my dad might have gone there for a couple of years, but like this school eventually just gets abandoned and has a shitty ass playground out in front, and yeah, it's monkey bars over concrete. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have it, but some other playground I remember had the metal half sphere where
Yeah,
you crawl
that
out to the
was-
top, and then if you
Scary,
fall,
man.
your leg gets caught, and like you break your knee, and you're like hanging there in like fucking turmoil. It had when you were talking about the concrete slide, Spalding had the metal slide where you're like, let's go play at the park, and the sun has been baking this in the Chicago heat. And you go like, ah! like screaming as you go down. If you have anything to go down, you know what I mean? It's like Jesus.
The metal is always the worst too because you're like, if I'm not sweating, this thing's gonna burn me. Like not burn like high heat, but it's gonna get that nice rub.
Yeah, the
where you
friction.
stop for a second. You're like,
Well, no, so the worst on that is so eventually this playground had it too, but a lot of the other playgrounds had the mid 90s. This is when the rubber and tan bark started coming in.
Yeah.
But it was those like plastic structures.
Yeah.
Like all the structures were plastic. So you if it was hot, you get the burn. If it rained, it was all wet and disgusting. You always got burned no matter what. Yeah. But the worst thing was the freaking static that would build up.
Oh, yeah.
So anything you touch is just fucking shocking you. And it's like so it's like the kids would play the ground is lava, but you wouldn't even need to because it was just everything else is electricity.
Every surface sucks.
The best part of that though is because we all had a thing about playgrounds. Just they were dangerous. Like we were the last, maybe the last generation that really before the what I'll call the pussification of the United States, where, but seriously, where like parents were just like go play and
Is it
we'll
the
see what happens.
pussification or maybe like smartening up that we're like we're ruining these children?
He's right. I remember
were fine, we're all
distinctly.
fine,
I remember
I think.
distinctly the first time I stepped foot on like a new playground where
like that cushy.
it
bounce.
has the cushy bounce to it, and I was like, what kind of fucking lame ass kid would play on this fucking thing? Like when we had sand
Or wood
or
chips.
concrete. That was
wood
it.
chips were a part.
Oh,
of
the wood chips were but the wood chips had their own issues where if you caught a wood chip the wrong way, you'd be picking that fucking thing out of your ass.
It's like bamboo shoots up your fingernail.
But it's not even. I'm not even trying to be political. It's just it is true. Like our parents used to like. My parents cared about me. Your parents cared about you, but they were just like go
Go off.
fuck off
Yeah.
and do whatever you want. I used to just go like when I was at my grandma's. I'd go in Albertson, Long Island. I would go to this huge elementary school, and there was an awesome playground. And I used to play hockey sometimes with these like way older people. Like I was like maybe like 10 years old, and they were
37.
They were probably there. They were definitely like out of high school. And like I used to just like play around with them because I could play. I mean, not as well as they could, but I played hockey.
Sure.
And they recognized that. We used to shoot around. And this was during the days. I mean, I'm getting old now. This is during the days of before plastic Gatorade bottles. So this was glass.
Oh,
Gatorade
yeah, I
bottles.
remember
Remember glass
those.
Gatorade bottles?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
and we lined them up. Like after like we were done and we would shoot pucks at them or whatever, and then we would like they would sweep them up and get rid of them. And
They would sweep them up and get rid of them.
they would because it was like it was that I do remember. They weren't like being hooligans. It was a very nice school. We were probably get kicked out of there or whatever. But I remember I was shooting once. It was Mother's Day, 1992 maybe, and I shot a puck at one of these glass Gatorade bottles that exploded. Glass cut me. Like I was far away from it too. It was like a wrist shot. I was probably like 15 feet away from it. Like this shard of glass just like cut me like right along my eyebrow. You can't even see it anymore. I had like all these stitches like
Walking around like Big Boss.
yeah. And I remember walking home, and this is emblematic of
got
it.
me.
I remember walking back to my grandma's with like my hand over my thing with this blood pouring down me, and I'm like, what the hell happened to you? And I'm like, oh, I got like an exploded Gatorade bottle in my face, and they were like, all right, let's go to the ER. Was it like this whole this like freak out kind of thing?
There was no social justice campaign on Twitter to end glass.
No, they didn't like try to sue the kids or try to sue the school or something. It was just like that was me being a kid, and therefore me paying the price for doing stupid things.
It
And
was
lo and
your
behold-
fault.
And it was my fault.
Yeah.
And lo and behold,
Never did that again.
no glass Gatorade bottles anymore.
This was the story. This is what broke it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that really well. Like there was something special about being a kid on that verge before things changed because they're different now. And we grew up in the late 80s, like and early 90s, and it wasn't like that. It really wasn't. My parents were like, "Oh, you want to go swim?" We had an in-ground pool, but all my friends did in our neighborhood, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Tim's to swim," and they're like, "Oh, are their mom and dad home?" Yeah, all right.
That was it. And
Like
maybe,
no one was
maybe-
calling. I didn't want to be like, are these fucking
they
8-year-olds
drowning?
drowning in your fucking 8-foot deep pool?
Yeah, that's the difference now, right? Is that everyone has cell phone. Every kid has a cell phone, and so like when you were a kid, all you needed to do was convince your parents
You were going
to
somewhere.
let you go somewhere, and then all you needed was the time you had to be back, and you
Yep,
would
that was
fuck
it.
off. There was nothing. They would never know. I'd be like, I'm going to the mall with Stu. That's it. I could leave the mall and go to a crack den for all they fucking knew, and they would never know, right?
It's
But
awesome because they can't track you
They
on
can't track your
locator.
ass. They don't know where you don't know where you are. Now everyone's got locators on them in their pockets. Your parents can load the app and like, oh, he's at the mall with Stu.
Well, it's worse than that even. It's like even if they don't have the locator, it's like the fact that they know that they have a phone on them.
They can
That
call
means
you.
they know that they can contact them, which means that if they call them and they don't answer, that
Trouble.
they're dead.
No,
There's no in between. They're
Yeah,
dead
they're
or
dead.
they're answering the phone.
You're so right though, man. It's so nostalgic when you think about it.
Think about
I'm going out to play on a summer night, 95, 96, whatever it is, and it's like be home by
10
be
or
home,
8,
yeah, or be home by dark.
Yeah.
And
That
then I
was
get
it.
home and it's like kind of dark out, and they're like, "I told you to be home by dark," and I'm like, "It's still dusk out." Should have given me a more legitimate time, you know.
have
And they're
watches
like,
for
"Well,
a
all
reason.
right, you know,
yeah.
go fuck off again."
Yeah.
Now that you're here, what's
That
the
was
next thing
it,
you're gonna go
man.
do? What you dumb
Keep
goony
yourself
friends?
busy. Matty Kerr, what were playgrounds like in Montana? I imagine
Yeah. What is
tumbleweeds.
your guys' idea of Montana?
flat.
I've been there, so I'm not gonna
Tumbleweeds.
say.
Flat.
It's beautiful.
I imagine
It's
everyone
it's amazing, man.
rides horses.
It's very nature.
We just got
driven.
DSL 2 weeks ago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, that's a lie.
Oh my.
I'm saying,
You broke me
Yeah,
for a second.
Yeah, no.
Montana's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Big
it's-
sky country.
Absolutely, man. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. No, Lewis and Clark Elementary is what pops into my head immediately, and I remember playing, like, I don't know if you guys called it chicken fights, but we had monkey bars.
Yeah, you hang off the monkey bars
And
and,
you
you try
use
to
your
kick each other.
legs.
Yep.
And I remember doing that from like 8 feet, 10 feet,
Yeah.
and falling right onto my back and just getting the wind knocked out of me.
Well, I mean, that's the
yeah.
thing is because like when you do that and you wrap your foot around, whoever falls either on their back
mhm.
or their neck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
very-
I don't want to jack
Or
your
they're
story.
taking you with them and you're falling on top of
Well,
them.
yeah, one of the worst things I ever did in my entire life, because I'm a fucking idiot, was I was hanging upside down on the monkey bars like kids do, and I had this awesome vision in my head that I'm gonna release my legs, I'm gonna do a backflip and land on my feet because I'm a fucking cool ass dude.
Yeah.
That's not how that shit went down. I
Right on the
released
neck.
and went straight down onto my head, and I
Yep.
can't believe I'm not dead.
Yep.
it
but-
works that way.
Yeah, my dad had to pick up my like mangled body and like take me home.
Yeah, and then I mean, there are so many memories of just like random playing, and I don't know, man. I also do remember having weirdly specific conversations on playgrounds. Like we had this curly slide, and I remember hanging out with a kid. His name was Alex King, and I remember sitting
What
in
up,
this.
Alex?
Yeah, I haven't talked to that kid forever, but sitting in this little hut and asking him about God and being like, "What is this God
Were you
thing?"
stoned?
And just like, no, we're 8 years old, and like we were just curious kids, and we like come to like some little conclusion or realization of what we thought, and then we'd go down this slide, and then we come back up and think about something else. And I don't know, I just think there's like this pure innocence, and like it's all nostalgia. It's all like happy feelings, whether or not you're breaking your rib or you're
Cracking your head
trying
open.
to hang out. There was this little structure that was sort of like a heart, and if you were laying in there with a girl, that's your
Oh.
wife, that's your girlfriend. You guys are dating, and I remember always trying to get someone, not letting the guys see I want a girl in there, but then trying to get someone in.
You want to
there.
be that guy that just girls were drawn to you.
I tried.
It's not my thing, dude. They're just.
Oh, I'm just here, man. This is my spot.
My God, I love all. This just makes me. I just realize how bad of a human being I was. Like playgrounds bring out the best and worst in you.
Oh, definitely
Like,
the worst.
As you get older, it just becomes worse. Like because when you're a kid, it's like, oh, we're just playing. Yeah, we'll do chicken fights or whatever. But once you became 9, maybe I would say, you just become this evil fucking Satan spawn. And once you learn about water balloons, that means anyone that's younger than you on the monkey bars, they're getting hit. And then you start to fucking create wars with like the rival gangs that are playground. Because
sure.
this is my fucking playground.
Okay.
What the hell are you doing here? Worst thing I ever did was, we had a water fight. People were bringing water balloons. So there was the M&M minis when those came out. Do you guys remember this? Familiar
Oh, yeah.
with M&M minis?
Little tubes,
Yeah.
hog tubes.
We'd fill the tubes with water and pepper. We use them like grenades. People
Homemade-
walk up-
homemade pepper
Yeah,
spray?
that's homemade pepper spray. we fucking love blinding those little shit.
we open the tops of it and put it on their fucking face.
What's wrong with you? That's not
Like
any of our
roll down the hill.
experiences. Colin had a lovely hockey game. Greg and I were too chubby to fucking
Well, no,
climb the
I'm
monkey
with him
bars.
because I remember in I went to private school until college, but the one school I went to, St. Petronell, shout out to Glen Ellen, Illinois, kindergarten through 8th grade, right? And so I remember getting like there was that weird, and I don't not by the time you're in 8th grade, junior high, you're aging, or you're ready for, but that 9-year-old thing when because like it was you had recess or whatever, right, or whatever, but it was just. It was prison. You were released into the yard because we didn't have basketball hoops for the longest time. So you just went out into this parking lot and put your hands in your pockets and we're trading Terminator 2 cards and shit. But like I remember, and people are just running. Sometimes you're playing football and it's not tackle, and then it becomes tackle, and you're in your uniform, your school uniform, just beating the shit out of each other. And then it was only good when it was snow days because they would plow there when it had snowed because they plow all the snow into the back corner, and then you could go play King of the Mountain on there or whatever, where you're just beating the shit out of whoever's at the top of the mountain. And then not to mention that on the other side of the mountain, the parking lot was raised. So it was already 4 or 5 feet up, maybe even more, and then you were on top of a mountain. So if you ever tumbled off the other way, you were fucked and it was over. But I remember when you like playing fights out there or something, and like I remember distinctly getting into a fight, but it was like something popped off, and I don't want to say it was like a bunch of us fighting one guy, but I definitely remember it was like we were ganging up on somebody. He was a dick, if I remember correctly. But I distinctly remember taking my hand and grabbing his cheek. Like I had this kid by the cheek, because like everybody else was people throwing punches, and that's all I could get. Like, what was I doing? Well, I was like, I have to murder this guy. And when I got caught, and when I got caught in first grade. Here's one for you. Jot it all down. Put a time code here for them. In first grade, I had a teacher named Miss Yoon, and she gave out IOUs when you did something good in class, right? Or you got answers right, or whatever the fuck it was. And then you got to trade in the IOUs and get stuff. You know, like they had some crosses. They had bubble gum. You know, they had things you traded them in for, right?
I'm sorry. Tim just made the blowjob to the camera. He made that blowjob.
You didn't need to reference it, Nick. They either saw.
Why did you do the blowjob thing? For the IOUs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Lau?
Wanted you to know that was inappropriate.
Miss Yoon.
Sorry
Miss
to interrupt
Yoon.
your story.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you. Thank you for
Mine was
keeping him
Miss Lau.
honest.
They were great.
So I, believe it or not, didn't get many IOUs. Wasn't doing well in class. Was very funny, trying to be a class clown kind of guy or whatever. And there was this kid, Gary Morris, who got a whole bunch of IOUs. He was super smart, nerdy guy, or just smart, whatever. But he was, you're kids. I was fat and stupid. He was nerdy, but not the comic booky way. In the nerdy school way. He likes school.
Urkel.
Not to that level.
Steve Urkel.
And I haven't said Gary Morris's name in forever. I wonder if he probably turned out to be fucking president. Anyways, he had a stack of IOUs.
He was definitely not president.
He had a stack of IOUs once, and he was leaning over his desk, and I fucking came by and stole them all.
All of them. Not even just one.
It gets better. It gets better about this. Steal this entire stack of IOUs. Horrible and dumb or whatever, but whatever. I do that to begin with. And then later that day, I'm bragging about how many IOUs I have. And Gary, of course, being smart, me being dumb, saw that I had he had put designs on his IOUs, with crayons and stuff. He's like, those are clearly mine. Reports me teacher, and it's up. He's like, the jig is up, and they're gonna call my parents. So at recess, I flipped myself over the bike rack to hurt myself to send myself home. Still got caught. Still got caught.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was my big plan.
You are a
Kamikaze
fucking
mission.
special.
I was like, how can I do this to get out of here? I need to get out, leave the scene of the crime here, and that was what I came up with. Is that I would sit on top of the thing and then fall backwards, and I did. And it didn't hurt bad, but then you acted like it hurt real bad.
Yeah.
I just want you to just take a step back there, Greggy, and just get some perspective on the two major points of those stories. One, you purposely hurt yourself to get out of being persecuted for stealing someone's IOUs.
Yeah.
And even more important, your defense and or offensive means of fighting someone was to grab them by the cheek.
Again, he was wrapped up with somebody else.
What did that look like in your brain before you did it?
I don't think there was any. No, there
You
was no
just
plan
were
to it.
caught up by
I think
the
that-
rage.
That's
and
what I
you
had.
just
I had
went
a
for the
shot
fucking
at,
cheek.
and I was like, I'm gonna grab him by the cheek, pinch him like his grandma.
And then you let him go.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
I
like,
don't
I
even
gotta-
know
I can't keep this.
that's what I would love to go back to that moment and just. How long did I hold on to that kid's cheek? How long with all my fingertips on the cheek? And did he look at me?
That
Like,
kid's at the
what?
bottom. That kid's at the bottom. I imagine this kid's at the bottom of a dog pile.
Exactly.
And he's getting his fucking ass handed to him. And to add insult to injury, this little fucking white doughy shit comes over to him and grabs him on the cheek for must have been a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And then just let go.
I'm like, well, I've done all I can. I've supported my friend in this
I'm gonna
fight.
go throw myself over a bike rack
All right,
now.
guys, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna hurt myself with this bike rack.
You are. Oh, we're gonna. The stories we'll tell.
Fucking things, man.
I can't
It's
wait.
all just perfect.
I can't wait.
That's a good topic, Tim.
Thank you.
I didn't believe in it at first.
Oh, I
but now
believed in
do.
it.
I'm glad
There's
you.
way more where that comes from.
Do you want to keep going?
No.
Oh.
I'll save it for
This is a
another
long
time.
show.
I know. Matty Kerr.
I do want
Matty
to
Kerr
talk. I
brought
want
the
to have
thunder.
a topic about water fights at some point because that's a whole.
I do have good.
topic
I do
of
have good
its own.
stories. about
Somebody
that.
put that on there thing. That topic was brought to you by a new sponsor, kind of. Ding, 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 ding. Now you can showcase your geek chic style with Level Up, a monthly mystery apparel subscription from Loot Crate. You can get 2 different pairs of high-quality socks, 1 to 2 fashionable accessories, or a wearable item like a long-sleeve shirt or lounge pants. Same things as Loot Crate every month, and it serves as a great companion to your loot because there are no repeats. Each month's theme is inspired by all your favorite pop culture brands like Star Wars, Doctor Who, and Fallout 4, and often contains high-quality exclusives. Go to lootcrate.com/funny to learn more. Use the code FUNNY to save 10%. This month's theme is Galaxy, with Star Wars items perfect for Jedi, Padawans, Rebels, and serious Star Wars fans. I'm going to add in big-time Watto fans as well.
Maybe you'll get some Watto socks.
I would love some. They say,
This actually sounds cool. I'm into this because I like socks. A couple months ago, Loot Crate had the Pokemon socks.
Yeah.
Big fan of those.
Good.
Nick thinks they're my SpongeBob socks, but they're not.
You get a lot of Pokemon paraphernalia, and I respect that.
Yep.
You got that hat yesterday.
I did.
The
Thank you
fisherman's
for
hat.
that, by the way. You
The
big,
Grimecraft
beautiful
hat?
kid.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You got that hat?
Yeah,
Grimecraft
yeah,
has that hat?
Grimecraft. Yeah, he also has that.
I think you invented it.
The Dale hat.
Yeah, good call. That's a good one.
I went
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Chinatown and there's a lot of Pikachu there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Matty Kerr, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
for all
guys.
your support on
Oh,
patreon.com/kind of for coming here. You're great. You were great. You fit right in. Did you have fun?
Oh, dude,
was
this
it
is
worth
awesome.
it?
Oh, no. Yeah. No, it absolutely was. Absolutely. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. Toss us a few bucks and you get each and every episode early. If you don't like that, don't worry. We don't need your money. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny where we break it out topic by topic, day by day, before posting the entire show as a big MP3 and video for your amusement. Gentlemen, it's been awesome.
Thank you. That was my favorite line of all time, by the way. You went to Chinatown. There's a lot of Pikachu there.
I'm glad you like that.
It's been okay.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.